Jay-Z, featuring Rihanna, Kanye West, on Amazon.
Change. Hey Alexa, stop. How did my voice change? What do you mean, Chris? Guys, we're almost at 8,000 likes. Keep tap. Oh, thank you for the heart me. Keep tapping the screen. Share the live out. Again, as soon as we get up to 8,000 likes, we will open up the panel. Oh, okay. Daniel Penny is your hero. Oh, okay. That's weird. You're weird, but whatever. Aw, thank you. I don't know if I'm the best, but I appreciate you. Guys, tap the screen. We're almost at 8,000 likes. Like I said, once we get to 8,000 likes, we will open up the panel and we will get these conversations going. Yeah, I'm just going to do this. Like, I don't know what your deal is, weirdo, but we getting you up out the paint. We are family. Welcome. Thank you for the subscription. Yeah, guys, there's a lot of people who are subscribers and our subs. Check your subscriptions because as you can see, the number is dropped. So if you're not a subscriber, you can go ahead and grab a subscription. Hey, Allie, my night is going well. Actually, I'm about to go ahead and open up the panel. Guys, as you get onto the panel, please mute yourself. If you are someone who wants to be a part of this conversation, please request up. I'm so excited to have everybody in here. And again, I need you guys to, when you get on the panel, please mute up. And we will go from there. We will do an introduction. So guys, again, what this week is going to look like, we're going to focus on the LGBTQIA community. We're going to start talking about what happens with these marginalized communities in Trump America. It's going to be super interesting, right? Because I think that a lot of people don't really understand what's going to happen and what this country is going to look like. And I feel like specifically the marginalized communities are the ones that are targeted. So last week we had the conversation about what does it look like with the black community and how the black community felt disheartened by what happened. No, I didn't forget it. Listen, I didn't. Okay, so I will say this, guys. We have a special. Oh, okay. No worries. Come right back. We have a special guest that's going to be helping me with these conversations this week. We have a special guest that's going to be helping me with with these conversations this week, and our guest actually helped me shape the actual conversation.
Hillary Clinton, she really sucks my.
Okay.
Adam 22 punches laptop, smoking some rock.
Okay. You just decided to come up and be a weirdo. Got it. L's in the chat for the weirdo, guys. L's in the chat for the weirdo. How about that? Let's put some L's in the chat for the weirdo. Anyway, guys, tap the screen. Let's keep the likes moving. Let's get this thing up to 25,000 likes. Share the live out. We're only at 17 shares. Can we get at least 50 shares? Right? Let's get it to 50 shares. Tap the screen, share the lives out. If you are someone who wants to join this conversation, specifically, if you are a part of the LGBTQIA community, I desperately want to hear your voice. If you are someone who voted for Donald Trump and you're not sure how your vote is going to impact this community, I want to hear your voice. Go ahead and request up. If you are someone who, like myself, is not a part of this community, but supports this community and wants to do everything possible to help and protect this community and also understand more, then request up. Also, engage in the chat. This is going to be an amazing week of information, an amazing week of learning, an amazing week of everybody making everybody better. And I will be very specific when I say my special guests, whenever they get here, I'm going to let them run the show because, your old buddy Santana, I'm just trying to make sure that I provide the platform and provide the space so we can have these conversations. But I'm going to lean on the people that can actually lead these conversations. That's why I need to hear from these people specifically. If you are a part of these communities, not just this week, but moving forward, if you are part of these communities, I need your voice. With that being said, we're going to go around the panel and do a quick introduction. And what we're going to do is I'm going to have you say if you are or are not a part of the community. If you feel like sharing. If you don't feel like sharing, then by all means you don't have to. But if you feel like sharing that you are or are not a part of the community, please please go ahead and make it known. And I'm gonna do. So we got my brother Javon up here on the panel, and I've heard Javon do this multiple times, and I've never done it before, but I've heard Javon do it. So I think this is what I'm gonna do. So when I come to you, I would like for you to give me your pronouns. You can share whether you are or are not a part of the community. And what do you expect for these next 4 years when it comes to the LGBTQIA plus community under the Trump administration? And so something that I also told my special host, I would love to have a member of, I know each letter has its own thing. If you are like, I would love to hear from somebody from each letter group specifically. So again, if you're interested, go ahead and grab a spot on the panel. Keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the live up to 25,000 likes. Share the live out. Let's get the shares up to 100 shares. We're at 64. Share the live out. Let's knock out the daily hearts. They're only 1 cent. It helps push us to the FYP. It helps generate more conversation so we get more people in here so we can actually have these conversations. So let's knock out these live goals. Let's be active participants. I need your help, especially with these conversations, especially with getting these things done. With that being said, we're going to start with Casserole. Hey, Casserole, what's up? Nothing much. How are you?
Doing pretty good.
Wonderful.
You were going to ask a bunch of questions. Go on.
I was just about to say, what are your pronouns? And are you a part of the community? And what do you expect for the next 4 years for the community?
Yeah, for sure. I like to kind of just plainly identify myself as queer. I'm 34, she, they. And I'm also a therapist who provides gender affirming care for kids and adults.
Hey, W's in the chat for Casserole.
Yeah. And, okay, so for the next 4 years, this is, I guess, like my professional take as well as my personal take. I think that we're just going to see an uptick in every single thing problematic that happens for the community, like bullying, unaliving rates, violence against communities, and I don't care if it's a small uptick or a large one. The point is that he's emboldening people. He
is. It's funny. I spoke with someone earlier today who was outwardly and openly racist, and I asked the question. I was like, when did you become so brave? Like, was it in 2016 or was it because of the re-election? But you are absolutely right. He is emboldening certain people to act those ways. Thank you so much, Casserole. Go back on mute for me, please. What up, Ty? How are you?
Hi, Santana.
Hello.
I'm good.
Ty, can you tell the people your pronouns, if you're a part of the community, and what do you expect for the community for the next 4 years?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everybody. I'm Ty. I am a part of the LGBTQ community, IA+. I am non-binary and pansexual. I'm married to a transgender woman. My pronouns are they, he. I think as far as what I expect from this administration, honestly, not a whole lot of good. So I think my biggest concerns are, of course, the sanctity of queer marriage. And then in addition to that, also all of the different things that affect queer adult business. And of course, like the way it affects children too, but specifically, I don't understand why people are so hell-bent on affecting a business of grown adults. My spouse is in the military. That could directly affect my spouse. She could potentially see herself getting kicked out for no other reason than because she's trans.
Yep.
And that of course affects my livelihood, my wife's livelihood, our home. So of course that's one of the things that I'm definitely concerned about.
Absolutely. Yeah, listen, there's going to be, again, there's going to be a lot of repercussions, and not just for like this community, but all marginalized communities because Trump election. So we're going to dig into that, and I want to hear more about that. Guys, drop some motherfucking coconuts in the chat for Jessica Simone. What up, Jess? Also, DNS, I see your comment. If you would like to come up and join the panel and have a conversation, please go ahead and request up. I would love to have you on the panel. Love to have you on the panel. Go ahead and request up. Javon, what up, my brother?
Hey, what's up, Santana? How you doing?
I feel like we've been missing each other every time. Like I'll see you request up or whatever, and then by the time I get to you, you're already gone. Like you just you be in and out.
Yeah, cause you.
Javon got a call from God. That was Jeebus. Jeebus just called Javon.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, like when you get right into the really good, like the beginning stage or like the middle part of your life, I end up like going to sleep because I have things to do in the morning.
And plus you're on the East Coast and I'm on the West Coast.
Right, yeah. So it's 11:24 my time now. So
yeah,
but I'm still here. I'm still here. So I'll give my pronouns are he, him, his.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a part of the community. I am a cisgender heterosexual man.
Mm-hmm.
My expectations for the Trump administration is to, well, one of the things I saw Agenda 47 touch base on is speak on like HRT, which would directly affect transgender people. And we know how the Trump administration is being set up. You see a lot of individuals in there that really don't know too much about LGBTQI plus people, or they lack the critical thinking skills to expand their knowledge on intersectionality within different demographics of people outside of race, gender, sexual orientation, etc. So definitely it will be, unfortunately, a lot of harm being perpetuated, as we already see that there was a bill drafted as that 5384 to abolish the Department of Education. So unfortunately, that's one of many different bills that will target different demographics of people. That one targets children.
Yep.
So definitely there will be more demographics targeted. But thank you. I always enjoy coming in here, Santana.
Absolutely.
This live is
going
going
to
be awesome.
You. Listen.
Thank you.
Listen. It's going down. All right, let me say this real quick before I go to the next person, guys. We just hit the 20. We're at 26,000 likes. Let's keep tapping the screen. Get it up to 50,000 likes again. Listen, chat. I'm gonna be leaning on you heavily. I need you guys to do all the good things. I need the taps. I need the shares. I'm setting the daily gift goals as like 1 cent things. We got roses. I need you guys to knock out all this because I want to get as many people in here to have these conversations as possible. I need you guys commenting in the chat. I need you guys locked in and active participants because I want people here for this conversation and I want these pushed out to the FYP. So I need you guys to do all the wonderful things. Bree, how are you?
Hey, Santana.
Hello. Bree, what are your pronouns? Are you a part of the community? And what do you expect for the community over the next 4 years of the Trump administration?
Yeah, so I'm pansexual. My pronouns are she, her. And what I expect from the Trump administration is to kind of piggyback off what Javon said, just a lot of oppressive laws when it comes to transgender, as well as an influx in I want to keep it TikTok friendly, but
please keep it TikTok friendly.
Negative things happening towards people in my community, just like within society in general. If you get if you picking up what I'm putting down,
yeah, sure.
Just like how it did, like an influx of those issues, just like how it did with his previous term. So yeah.
Yeah, no, listen, I think there's going to be a lot to that, and I'm happy that you said that. Happy to have you up here. Thank you. Kendra. Hey, Kendra, how are you?
Good. How are you, Santana?
Wonderful. Kendra, what are your pronouns? Are you a part of the community? And what do you expect out of for the community out of the Trump administration for these next 4 years?
So my pronouns are she, her. I am not part of the community, but my son is. He is trans.
Okay.
And during these next 4 years, like pretty much everybody else on the panel said, I'm worried about the laws that they're going to impose to oppress this group,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm scared for my son.
Yeah, listen, the scariest thing is, when you don't fall into the quote unquote category of these groups, but the people that you love do, right? And I know for myself personally, it's a lot easier for me to deal with stuff, but it's a lot harder for me to deal with stuff when it's people that I love. So I completely understand where you're coming from. Perfect. Thank you. Al, what up, Al? Guys, drop some W's in the chat for Al.
Which Al? Me or Allie?
Oh, you're right. But I just introduced Allie, but I said Al. Come on now, Al, don't do that. You know how much I love you.
Love you too, brother.
Al, can you tell the people?
What up, Santana?
Can you tell the people your pronouns? Tell them if you're a part of the community, and what do you expect out of the Trump administration for the community for the next 4 years?
So hey, I'm Al. I go by he, him. I am absolutely part of the community. I'm a trans man. I have 3 quick points. One is that I'm actually Canadian. My fear, my fear is that no matter what happens in the States, that it's going to trickle down and up into my country, I guess. And that's terrifying. Secondly, is that I think that you're going to see a lot of what everybody else on the panel has said. You're going to see a lot of bigotry. You're going to see a lot of fear mongering. You're going to see a lot of problematic behaviors happening towards the trans and queer community.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I think as a third thing, and this is kind of a more positive thing, is I think that you're going to see our community come together more, and we're going to go to war.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. Let me just say this real quick. For Hannah, I see you down in the comments. Hannah, if you're gonna make the comments, then put on your big boy pants or big girl pants or big they pants or whatever, and get up in the box and actually come up here and say it with your whole chest, right? Let's not cower in the comments, right? If you got something to say it to our face. Get up here. I'm pretty sure that no one on the panel is actually scared to have a conversation with you. Don't mute her yet, or them, or I'm sorry. Don't mute Hannah yet. Give Hannah an opportunity to get up here with her big boy pants, big girl pants, whatever it is, and say it with your whole chest. I would love to hear from you. Anyway, thank you so much, Al. Hunter, hey Hunter, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Wonderful. Hunter, can you tell the people what are your pronouns? Are you a part of the community? And what do you expect for the next 4 years for the community?
Yeah, so he, him are my pronouns. I'm definitely part of the community. I'm a trans bro, learning what it means for me to be a man. And what I see happening, if history seems like it's repeating itself, as it very clearly seems to be,
always tends to do that.
we are going to be essentially the catalyst for even more nefarious future happenings. It's already kind of starting to see it with book bans, and I wouldn't be surprised with whole book burning events. But I think, like everything else, we are going to be the pivotal point that's pushing down so that it starts to dehumanize much more of the marginalized communities. And for those that don't understand intersectionality, the concept of when we are messed up, all of us are messed up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Thank you for that. Hold on. This is what I want to do. Al, I'm gonna ask a huge favor of you.
You're gonna ask me to drop down, aren't you?
I'm gonna get you back in. You can be the first person up. I promise.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You can.
No. I'm just dropping.
Well, no, hold on. The only reason I said Al is because Al is one of my mods, and nobody else. That's why I didn't target anybody else. That's why I'm requesting the favor of Al. So, Al, you can be the first person back in, okay?
You're good. You're good.
Thank you. And Casserole, this is what I want to do. I'm going to drop you, but you can request back up. Just because I want to put my special guest in this box here. So when you request back up, request into the empty box. Just touch the empty box that Al just left, okay?
Cool. Sounds good. Thanks.
Right, thank you. All right. Casserole, go ahead and request back up into that box, and then I'll bring the special guest in.
I think I know who the special guest is.
You know who the special guest is. Listen.
I do, and I love her very much.
Listen. We in the building. Okay. There we go. All right, guys. All right, everyone. Sorry. All right. So, with that being said, guys, the person who helped me flush out our topics, the person that I will be leaning on, and I've specifically told her, like, hey, this is your week. Like, I need you to steer this ship. I'm just here, to make sure. I'm just here so I don't get fined, in the famous words of Marshawn Lynch. The person that I'm going to be leaning on heavily to actually help guide these conversations, my special guest, my friend, Sean. Sean, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm laughing at him just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah,
but
right.
I'm doing good.
Yeah, Sean, can you tell the chat your pronouns? Are you a part of the community, and what do you expect for these next 4 years for the community under the Trump administration?
Well, first, let me say I'm sorry I'm late. If I run out of signal, it's because at the moment I'm in a bad area.
No worries. Listen, if you do, I'm gonna lean on the rest of the panel, so we're good.
All right, cool. I want to apologize for being late. I was having a very important conversation with some people who are very near and dear to me, and the conversation ran a little bit over. The conversation was similar to the conversation that we're going to be having this week. You told everybody the topics, right? I mean, they can read them, but
right. Well, I haven't really went. I told them the headline, but we haven't went into the actual topics yet.
Okay, that's cool. Essentially, let me answer these questions first, then we'll talk about the topics.
Yeah.
What I expect for the next 4 years, and as anyone who knows me knows, I don't even advocate for electoral politics.
You do not.
Not one bit. I could not care less. But within the next 4 years, we will see like American fascism as it pertains to the overt fascism that Americans have been wanting to do for a very long time. Underneath my viewpoint, America has been fascist since its inception. It literally is founded off of mass genocides. It literally is founded on racism, and the system that it implemented throughout the world within capitalism was built by black bodies being capital. There is nothing you can do in the United States to stop the United States from being fascist. And with that being said, what we're talking about today, or this week, is, I don't want to say issues, but with challenges. I'll say that, with challenges that we see within the queer community, and that is the LGBTQIA community, right? And we're talking about how, one, these things are intersectional. Two, the intersectionality within them has a lot to do with, one, the founding of the United States and the fascism, and two, the phenomenon which we're seeing in the rise of American fascism coming back into the overt death of a euphemism, if you will. But I'll expand on that a little bit later. I don't want to talk your head off. Let's get into it.
We are. Listen, because you guys know, how we do. I got a bunch of commercial stuff that I gotta talk through and da. But let me just say this, right? Let me say one thing. And I'm gonna keep it funky with everybody, right? Because it's just us, right? It's just us. We're just kicking it. One thing that I can say, and I truly mean this, is since I've been doing this, I've been blessed to make connections and meet people that are so much smarter than myself. Like when I tell you there are so many hyper intelligent people, so many people who actually have so much passion and care and just everything. And I've been blessed with the opportunity to connect with these people. And the one thing that I've loved is every time that I've come to one of these individuals that I've met and I've said, "Hey, I need you," they've always said, "I got you." And that's exactly what Sean did, and I love her so much for that, because I'm not a part of the community. I want to be someone that supports the community. I want to be someone that helps the community, but I can't lead these conversations. But like I told Sean and like I told you guys, I can at least provide the space to have these conversations, and not just this conversation, right? Because this conversation this week is super important, but talking about these marginalized communities, talking about a lot of different things, and I am excited and blessed, and I'm lucky, just lucky to be able to actually have these great people to lean on. So, oh wait, we got a new person on the panel. Dang it, I know I've said your name before, but you know I'm gonna mess it up. Megiwan? How do you say
Hi,
it?
can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. It's Megwino. It's just like
Meguino.
a 7th grade. It's a nickname. It's not even my name, so it's okay.
I know I messed it up before. Like I remember, I remember messing stuff up. I remember messing that up. Can you tell the people your pronouns? Are you a part of the community? And what do you expect out of these next 4 years for the community under the Trump administration?
Yeah, so my pronouns are she, her, and I am a part of the community, and I've been pretty fearful, dude. Like, so even within this community, I have a lot of privilege, right? Like, I'm white and I'm bisexual, and so I'm kind of able to slip between the cracks and like hide, if I'm like in a heteronormative relationship, which I am, and I just, man, like I can think about the difference in culture from like prior to Donald Trump being in office, even just towards like bisexual people, and it was different, it's like I fear a lot for like my trans friends, especially, with all the crap that they've been talking and making up. It's just, it's disgusting. And so really, I don't know. I just know that I think like the alt-right playbook, right? Like they're going to be cracking down on the LGBTQIA community, right? Like yeah, so I don't really know, man. I just don't expect a lot of good, and so I love like that you have a platform like this where people can come together and share their experience. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know, scary times, dude.
Yeah. It is spooky season, and I'm not talking about Halloween, which is my favorite. Thank you for that. All right, guys. With that being said, just want to go over a couple of ground rules for the panel. Guys, we want to be able to have these conversations. We want to be able to talk and not only protect your TikTok, but make sure that we're able to protect the live. With that being said, please be mindful of the certain words that you use. So if you want to use words, make sure you use substitute words like unalive, AB, schmex, C19, schnatzy, mustache man, all of those types of things that allow us to have these conversations. Also, this is a safe and friendly community. What does that mean? We don't do any of the isms. Racism, sexism, classism. We also don't do any of the phobias. Homophobia, transphobia, none of it. With that being said, we don't do that on the panel, nor do we do it in the chat. So if you are in the chat and you are participating in that, you will get muted and blocked. My mods don't play. And also, speaking of my mods, caps are for mods. Guys, please be mindful that caps are for mods, and they draw my attention away from the panel and to the chat. So we want to make sure that we're not using those caps because it will draw, I got the attention span of a goldfish. Anybody who's watching me for more than 5 minutes realize that I don't have a great attention span. So please don't use caps. With that being said, guys, let's keep tapping the screen. We're at 52,000 likes. Let's get it up to 100,000 likes. Let's get the shares up to 200 shares. Also, we do have our nightly donation give. our nightly donation goal of $250, which, guys, to start it off, W's in the chat from Michael. Michael sent a $20 Cash App donation to say thanks for the good work. Michael has already added $20 to our nightly donation goals. Thank you so much, Michael. Guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all of my pay links are in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, which is down in the corner of the screen. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. It helps us continue to be able to host these lives. So if you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. And also, please don't forget about my special guest who's going to be here with us this week, Sean. Let's make sure we're gifting Sean, taking care of Sean. But Sean also has her pay links in her bio. Watch my legs. Let's make sure that we're taking care of Sean while Sean is up here laboring with us for this week. With that being said, one last thing, just an FYI, guys, I am currently dual streaming. Currently dual streaming. What does that mean? We are live on the old TikToks, but at the same time, we are live on the YouTubes. So, guys, I'm going to make sure that I flash my YouTube account, but if you have not become a subscriber to my YouTube account, my YouTube subscriber is free, right? It costs nothing to subscribe. So if you got broke 99 in your pocket, you can still subscribe to the old YouTubes. But it allows us to actually make sure that we're able to have these conversations just in case, things don't go so well with the old TikTok. So we want to start migrating all of our people over to the YouTubes and making sure that we are able to host these conversations. So if there's ever an issue with TikTok, then you can't catch it on TikTok, or if you miss some of the live or whatever, you can always watch the live playback on YouTube as well. So just go ahead over to my YouTube channel. It's in the link tree. I will flash it a little bit later, but go ahead over and subscribe. With that being said, Sean, I'm going to immediately lean on you for some laboring, if you don't mind. I would like for you to introduce the topics and kind of give just a high-level overview of the meaning of the topics, and then I'm going to tell you which one that I want to start with, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. The first topic is equal rights to marriage, and I just need people to understand that, when it comes to equal rights to marriage, I'm going to talk about, me personally, I'm going to talk about a lot of things because there's many communities other than the queer community that is affected by equal rights to marriage, such as the disabled community. But we'll get into that. Transphobia is misogynoir. I'll explain that a little bit later. That goes deep. But ignorance is hate. If you are willfully ignorant to something, we have a supercomputer in our hand. We're all on a supercomputer right now. Google is free.
It is free.
Google is free. Man.
Listen, it's almost as free as the YouTubes.
Dog, Google is free than a bitch. And I know that because I am a bitch and I ain't free. Google's freer than me. You can Google some shit. You can find some shit on the interweb. You can find scholarly articles. You can find, I was going to say metadata. Mm-hmm. Don't find metadata. Then you'd be doxing people. But you can find meta-analysis of studies. You can find studies. Google Scholar is free. You can find information on transphobia, homophobia, queerphobia in general, and how these things tie to intersections of racism, xenophobia, all of these things. Mm-hmm. So if you're ignorant at this point, you just hate marginalized people.
That part.
And communication, how we talk to each other, the way that we get our messages across in order for us to come together and to have effective skills for whatever it may be that we're doing. Effective skills for just working together, or effective skills for if we want to load up them things and do a revolution.
Absolutely. Perfect. Welcome, Erica Raid. Welcome in, Erica Raid. Hello. So happy to have you guys here. So happy to have you guys a part of the conversation. If you want to actually grab a spot on the panel, go ahead and request up. This is for not only people that are part of the community, but people that are not a part of the community, people that either voted for Trump as well and doesn't understand what this means It's also for those people who are not a part of the community, but they want to be better and actually be able to support the community over these next crazy 4 years. So Sean was just actually, we have my special guest this week, Sean, who's going to be helping me labor throughout the week. And with that being said, let's get into it, right? Let's get into it because we have built and built and built enough. Sean, so I had a conversation today, right? And the thing that I know about me, hey Gina, the thing that I know about me is I know a little bit about a lot of bit, right? I know just enough to make me dangerous, right? I know just enough not to embarrass myself in almost every conversation, right? But someone like really broke down transphobia is misogynoir to me, and I was like, I like that topic. So Sean, can we start there? Can you give the chat a little bit more information about that? And then I specifically would like to come to yeah, I know who I want to come to next. I'll say it after this part, but go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, and I think we should let Javon say something after this. I think he wants to say something.
Yeah.
But transphobia is misogynoir. When introducing this topic, or when Santana asked me about the topics that would be on the board, he had some ideas, and I had the idea of from his inspiration that transphobia is misogynoir. And what that means is that the beauty standards that are upheld within white supremacy tend to be Eurocentric beauty standards. And this is why you see people calling cis women, especially if they're black, they say that they're men. I know we've all heard on this app people tell us, like either to our face or on a panel or something like that, that Michelle Obama is a man.
That's exactly who I thought about. When they broke it down to me, that's the first person I thought about.
Exactly. And these things are because of the Eurocentric beauty standards not being upheld particularly by black people, and especially darker skinned black people, to have more what they would call Afrocentric features, because Afrocentric features are looked at as quote unquote manly features. And so the oppression that trans women go through, at least for beauty standards, is the same, or not necessarily the same, that's not true, but is akin to misogynoir. Because they look at these things as quote unquote manly features because they are more Afrocentric.
Perfect. So, I got somewhere I want to go, but I'm going to respect what Sean said. So we're going to give the floor to you, Javon. What do you have to add to this part of the conversation?
So this is a very nuanced conversation, and I feel like it would be a disservice to not bring up our really good sociologist friend in the field named of Kimberly Crenshaw, who crafted and coined the terminology of intersectionality in 1989. This word is going to come up because I'm going to bring the word up in this conversation. This conversation, and as well as a panel full of people, including you, Santana, of different intersections and different walks of life, and it is imperative in this conversation that we explain in depth the work in the sociology field that Professor Crenshaw has done, and why she had to not only introduce it once, but had to reintroduce the terminology again during the pandemic when Black people were losing their lives at the hands of law enforcement officials. In fact, she held a whole seminar on this during the pandemic back in 2020 because people were forgetting the oppression of Black people, specifically Black trans women who were being attacked in major metropolitan cities like Los Angeles and New York City, where crime rates against Black trans women were going up. So she had to reintroduce that term because people were forgetting that even with you being white tea, or even with you having a certain intersection, you face oppression in different avenues. And I think with this conversation shining a light on our LGBTQI plus two-way blood brothers and sisters and non-binary people and gender non-conforming individuals, we have to acknowledge their intersection, because not only would it be dehumanizing and demoralizing, but we wouldn't hear them loud and clear. So when we have this topic, for those that are coming in, please understand that if you are not aware of what intersectionality is before we get deep into it, please do your research and Google it. You will see you will see a diagram of overlapping circles, and in those circles will be different stages and systems of oppression that's in it. And some people, their oppression laps over 5 different times, depending upon what they are a part of.
Hmm.
So that's what I had to say for now. Thank you, Santana.
Absolutely, absolutely, guys. W's in the chat for
Santana, if I
Javon.
may.
Yeah,
WJ Vaughn.
yeah. Go ahead.
This will be real quick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Listen, this is your show.
I appreciate that. When talking about, I do want the panel to. This is for the panel. Whenever we're talking about transphobia and is misogynoir, whenever we're talking about that topic, let's try to give as many trigger warnings as we possibly can, because there is no avoiding within this topic the amount of sexual violence, the amount of physical violence, and the amount of just like overt oppression that happens with this kind of intersection.
Absolutely. So this is what I want to do. Or let me just say this real quick. Guys, W's in the chat for Diana. Diana sent a $10 Cash App donation saying, thank you for a safe platform. Diana, thank you for being here. Thank you for your donation. Thank you for being a part of our community. Guys, that means we only have $220 left in our nightly donation goal. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all of my pay links are in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to actually support the live. So if you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. With that being said, let's get these likes up to 100,000 likes. We're only at 67,000 likes. Yeah, not 60. Yeah, we're at 67,000 likes. Let's get it up to 100,000 likes. Share the live out. Do all the wonderful thing to let the TikToks know that we in the building. I want to come to either, I will throw this to either Al or Hunter. I will let either one of you, whoever comes off mute first, you guys can have the floor. And I would like to hear your thoughts on the transphobia is misogynoir. What does that mean to you? And can you expand on it in any way outside of what Sean and Javon just added to it?
You know Hunter and I are both going to let the other one talk.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to say is that Hunter, in all of the talking that you and I have done over the last few weeks, you are super eloquent in your wording. So I would love to hear your voice talk on this one.
Hunter, the floor is yours.
Call us both out with that one. I love it.
Listen.
Yeah, so I look at it this way. When you're looking at intersectionality and such, I am a YT first. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of the concept of the intersectionality, the marginalization of people is we all fight for our people. But again, if it's one of us, it's all of us. I have had multiple conversations with people that they struggle because they can only see their own struggles. And that in and of itself is something that is difficult for me when it comes to the deeper, darker conversations of things where I'm going to get my words mixed up. So actually, I'm going to put a pause on this answer. Come back to me, okay?
Okay. Al, what would you like to
add? Sorry, I was answering some things in the comments.
Yeah.
I would just say that...
Hold on one second. Lawful expect, you know me, and I know you. And if this was sparring with Santana, I would call you the B word. But it's not. This is Late Nights with Santana. This is a panel discussion. This is talking about what the LGBTQIA community is going to deal with in Trump's America. Now, I know that you are a Trump supporter. And if you would actually like to come up and get a spot on the panel, one, I can always make room for you on the panel. Don't use that as an excuse. But two, if you would actually like to come up and add a perspective as far as why you think this community will be fine or okay or safe or protected in Trump's America, or just share your feelings, request up. With that being said, I apologize, Al. The floor is yours. Al? Al?
Hold on, I'm gonna have to step away for a minute.
Okay, no worries. So this is what I want to do then. I want to go to Megwan. I would love to hear your thoughts, one, on transphobia being misogynoir, but specifically, and again, I'm not picking on you, but I know when doing the introductions, you spoke to the fact that in certain situations you can, be quote unquote passing, right? Because you're bisexual and you are a white tea woman. Can you share a little bit of light as far as what the topic means to you, and how do you see that as far as your place with within the community, and then dealing with transphobia?
Yeah, so talk about privilege, right? I had to Google what misogynoir meant. I was like, what you know what I mean? I'm like, what the hell is that? And as soon as, oh gosh, it wasn't Javon. It says Camissa.
Sean, you can just say Sean.
Sean, right on. Okay. Well, yeah, Sean immediately, or my response to, were your pronouns she, her? Yeah? They, them? I'm sorry, I shouldn't assume. Well, I thought of Michelle Obama too, right? And I was like, I heard that all the time, And when I looked up misogynoir, I was like, okay, there it is. And I thought about just the different ways in which, like, specifically two, and it sucks that there's more than one. It should be none, right?
Mm-hmm.
But two of my black cisgender girlfriends, like, they were compared to men all throughout high school, and so it's like this complexity, like all these different layers of like, man, like black cis women can't catch a break, black trans women can't catch a break, and really just what stood out to me, I feel like on this I need to really keep my ears open and listen more, but it was like I'm in such a different position where it's like I need to look up what this means. So I'd love to hear the experiences of those of you who struggle with it, because like it's apparent I don't have to struggle with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to come to you, just to get your perspective on that, because again, you are a part of the community, but your experience is a different experience, right? And this is what I tell people all the time about, like, black people. We are not a monolith. Right, and just for everyone in this community as well, the same thing. Someone who's likable literally stole the words out of my mouth. The other person I always think about, and when I was listening to misogynoir, when I was getting more information about that, the second person that I thought about right after Michelle Obama was Serena Williams. Serena Williams has been one person who has. Go ahead, Sean.
I said, yep, absolutely.
It's wild. And, so I'll say this, right? I guess, and again, me being a black man, right, and raised by black women, I got 4 older black sisters. I've always been attracted to black women. I thought, like, Serena Williams, I thought Serena Williams was bad. But then, like, when talking to other people, and they were like, oh, that's a man. And I was like, what are you talking about? And it's so interesting to me how that plays out. And then to that point within the trans community. So, Sean, I'm going to come back to you in just a second. But Ty, I would like to actually give you the opportunity to speak on it as well.
Sure. I actually just heard this term for the first time last night. I was on a little bit smaller of a platform listening to a group of black women discussing exactly this topic. So yeah, I mean, I definitely see the intersectionality and the issues within the community regarding how black women are perceived, and that black women receive a not insignificant amount of transphobia despite not being transgender. Not all of them, anyways. I definitely agree with the idea that there's a misogyny noir going on. Anytime we see any person with any kind of traits that are not like that standard Eurocentric idea, people get accused of being manly. I specifically also think, not so much in regards to the black community, but I also was thinking about Lady Gaga and about how some of her traits are not as I think it was like her nose and stuff. People were commenting about how her nose wasn't very feminine, and people started accusing her of being a transgender woman. Anytime a woman doesn't fit those beauty standards, they start being accused of being men. I definitely think that it happens to black women significantly more. But I think that this is a common tactic that people use against women in general.
Yeah, absolutely, and that again, this is one of. Listen, Ty. Never mind. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna tip my hand. Nope. I'm not gonna tip my hand. I'm gonna hold my cards close to my chest, and everybody else is just gonna have to find out when you find out. With that being said, before I come back, guys, can I just have a quick moment? So outside of my wife, my best friend is someone who I've known for many, many, many years, and he doesn't support me because he's a jerk, but he is actually listening right now. So I just had to stop and smile about that for a moment, just so he knows that I know that he knows that I know that he's watching. I know you see me. Anyway, that was it. I want to come to Casserole, because I know that you said that you are, and I don't want to misquote like what you do as far as if it's a medical. I'm sorry, you're a therapist, right? Can you give me that one more time?
Yes, I am a therapist, and predominantly I see a vast number of trans clients that are across, all ages. So in effect, I provide gender affirming care. So I love to be a part of the conversations. Yeah.
Awesome. The floor is yours. What can you add to this topic?
To be completely honest, it would just be redundant. I fully understand, and it's like my experience as a YT woman is that I unfortunately learn these things every single day versus kind of living my life in those experiences. And so I started realizing that over time, thanks to so many people who were shedding light on these issues.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Thank you for that. I think that I think you're in a unique position because I'm sure that with you seeing your clients, you're going to end up seeing people of all races and things like that. So like I that's just an added layer, right? I mean, outside of being trans and being a kid or a teenager or whatever, but then that additional layer, that additional factor, that has to be even more,
What I can speak to in that realm is actually the fact that there aren't enough therapists of color, and it's for a lot of reasons. Mostly the fact that the education system is trying to keep people from going to it that'll make actual change. So, they make it very expensive, very uncomfortable, and it's typically kind of at this point oversaturated with YT women. And so I think that, especially because of where I practice, I actually don't have many clients of color, and I often, so like a big part of the training program is typically diversity, inclusion, multicultural diversity classes, so that people are really aware of these systemic issues and privilege, etc. But inevitably, I don't mean to take up too much space with it, but as a
You're
therapist,
good. You're good. We're letting it
yeah.
all breathe. Go ahead. You're good. We're letting it all breathe.
Yeah, I usually don't talk very much, so yeah, it's nice to get to. Well, basically, as a therapist, as a YT therapist, it's actually really an interesting kind of place to sit in, because I want to be able to provide that space to people of color, no matter where they're coming from. But I mean, particularly Black clients. But I honestly don't know how to ever provide a fully trusted space for them where they feel like they could, almost visually see a hierarchical, shift. So it's kind of like, I wish that they could have more of the folks that they feel comfortable seeing, if that makes sense. I would like to be that person, but I'm not gonna,
Yeah, no, listen,
be
I know I
offended.
can speak from my own personal experiences, and nothing against my YT friends and my YT brother and sister and whatever, but what's been super important for me when finding a therapist is I specifically targeted a Black woman, right? That's what I needed. I've had different races. I've even had a Black male therapist, but I was like, I need a Black woman. And I think being able to have someone that you can connect with and you share multiple things with, I think that's huge. So I get exactly what you're saying, and I think that's really important. So let's do this. Kendra, I want to come to you, right? Because Kendra, correct me if I'm wrong. You said your child is trans, correct?
Yes, that's correct, Santana.
Okay. So, and I don't want to assume, but are you YT?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So your child wouldn't necessarily deal with misogynoir, but I just kind of want to know, right? How much did you know about misogynoir prior to this conversation, and what are your thoughts on what you've heard so far?
Okay, well, I'll be honest. I had to actually Google it because I had no idea. And I try to take pride in, educating myself, especially because my son is part of the community, to understand the community better. So I do apologize for not knowing that term. But I'm new to all this. My son came out probably 3-4 years ago. So I'm brand new to all this. So
Yeah.
I apologize for my ignorance.
No, listen. So Sean has a topic. Sean says up here, ignorance is hate, right? And Sean specifically started drilling down how that actually looks. And it's more so for those type of people who actually have the ability to find something out, but they don't do it, right? They actually just are completely willfully ignorant. But you didn't know what this was, and you took a moment to actually Google it and find out more about it. You are fighting against that hate in real time, and that's important. So it's never wrong to say I don't know something, or I don't know what that is, or I've never heard of that, because it's important. But the fact that you are actually trying to learn more about it, that's what's important. So that's why I wanted to come to you and hear from you.
Can I just say something to Kendra really
Go
quick?
ahead, Ty.
Kendra, I am in the community, and additionally, I'm a foster parent, and I'm in the process of adopting a transgender teenager. It comes easily to me to accept my child, especially whenever I chose them as is. I just want to commend you for being willing to learn for the sake of your child. Not everyone is willing to do that. And that's why there's so many queer children in foster care, especially like queer POC children receive absolutely the most stigmatization of all of the kids in foster care. So I just want to commend you for being willing to accept your child the way that they are.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me as a mom.
Absolutely. If you ever need anything, please reach out to me, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. All right. With that being said, I want to get to one of my friends, Andrew. Andrew, how are you?
Hey, Santana, I'm good. How you doing, fam?
Good. Andrew, can you tell the people what are your pronouns? Are you a part of the community? And what do you expect out of these next 4 years of the Trump administration?
Yeah, first I'll apologize. I'm at the gym.
Yeah, no
Just
worries.
walking. So
No
if it's loud in
worries.
the background, sorry, everyone.
You're good.
For pronouns, I kind of identify by all of them. I know I look he, him, but you can call me she, you can call me they. I kind of just respond to all of them. I am queer. I am gay. I am in a long-term relationship with my partner, going on 5 years now, which is crazy to me. But definitely a part of the community here, located in California. I think for the next 4 years, in regards of just the queer community and Trump's office, I think it's going to be terrifying. We saw what it was like the 4 years that he was in office prior to this. And in my honest opinion, given the state of everything going on, I feel like Americans have become so dehumanized towards their neighbors, towards their friends, towards their family. And I think people's compass for caring about other things is dwindling every single day. And so I think when the queer community space and all the other minority groups try to use the resources for help, I don't think they're going to be given them. I think people are going to be too focused on me, myself, and I, and what can I do for my personal family. I need to look for their best interest, not realizing that by looking at the community as a whole, that's how we help our individual friends and families and neighbors, is when we stop focusing on the I and focusing on the we, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Perfect. Thank you so much, Andrew. I'm going to come back to you, but let me just say this real quick. Welcome, Harry Raid. Welcome in. Guys, just so for the new people joining, we are dealing with, for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be dealing with multiple topics, including the topics speaking to marginalized communities. What does it look like under the Trump administration for these marginalized communities? We're looking to speak with people who are part of the communities. We're looking to speak to people that are not a part of the communities but want to be of help to the communities. And we're also looking to speak with people who voted for Donald Trump, and you may think that these communities will not be affected. We would love to hear all voices. With that being said, guys, tap the screen. Let's get this thing up to 100,000 likes. Share the live out. We do still have $220 left in our nightly donation goal. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. All of the pay links are in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to actually support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. And please don't forget about my special guest, Sean. Sean is here. Sean is going to be helping labor all week. And so Sean pay links are in our bio. So let's make sure that we're taking care of Sean as well. With that being said, Kendra, would you mind if I drop you down? Is that okay?
Go ahead, Santana. I understand.
Okay, so I'm going to drop you. And specifically, I want to get Lawful X-Pac in.
How's it going?
Hey, Lawful X-Pac, how are you?
Pretty good.
Wonderful. So, again, guys, this is a conversation not only for people that's a part of the community, but it is a conversation for people who voted for Donald Trump and feel like that the community may not be affected in a negative way under the Trump administration. So we do want to actually be able to have these conversations. Now, what I will say as well, let me put the chat on notice. Myself and Sean are up here, and I also have like amazing people on the panel as well. We can handle these conversations. I'm giving Sean all the leeway to let me know where we're going with these conversations, how these conversations are had, or if someone is crossing the line. With that being said, if someone is saying something that you don't like, please, please, please don't report anybody. Reporting people hurts the live. We want to be able to have these conversations. I need everybody in the chat to trust me and trust Sean to be able to have these conversations. And as long as someone doesn't get completely out of pocket or out of line, then we can have these conversations. With that being said, lawful expat, I don't expect you to, crash out or anything like that, but I did have to, give that caveat. Can you tell the people, and this is just a question that I asked everybody on the panel, can you tell the people what are your pronouns? What are your pronouns? Are you a part of the community? And what are you expecting for this community over the next 4 years under the Trump administration?
I don't believe there's much to worry about over the next few years, to be honest. I feel like if you're just the type of person who's chill, and I don't think Trump hasn't made any specific policies that are a threat.
Got it. Would you like to engage with the other two parts of the question?
I think it's okay.
Okay. All right. Megwan, I hope you saw my message in the chat. I had to drop you down just for a minute. All right, give me a moment. Lawful expat, Ashley Joe, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. Ashley Joe, again, same questions that I just asked Lawful expat. What are your pronouns? Are you a part of the community? And what do you expect for this community out of the next 4 years of the Trump administration?
She, her. I am a part of the community, and I don't expect any rights to be lost.
Okay. All right. And just to verify, Ashley Joe, did you vote for Trump?
I did.
Okay. Perfect. So this is what I want to do. So I would actually like to start with you, Ashley Joe, because I know you've been here for a while. X-Pac, I don't know how, or I'm just going to call you Lawful. Is that all right?
That's fine.
Okay. So Ashley Joe, I know you've been here for a while, and I know you've had an opportunity to kind of hear from the panel and hear us digging into this first topic. And so I would like to know, one, what are your thoughts on transphobia being misogynoir? Two, did you know anything about that prior to this conversation? And we can just kind of go from there.
No, I didn't know anything about that prior.
Okay. Well, from the information that's been shared, what are your thoughts?
I missed a lot because I've been talking to people in the comments.
Oh, okay.
On that, but
Sean,
go ahead.
Sean, would you mind explaining one more time to Ashley Joe and Lawful what misogynoir is, please?
Sure. Did we ever get Lawful's pronouns?
We did not. Lawful? I'll let you handle that.
Yeah, Lawful, what are your pronouns?
It's okay. You can just assume them.
Okay. Are you part of the community?
I am not.
Okay. Yeah, so transphobia being misogynoir, the effects of transphobia are through the basis of misogynoir with beauty standards and with the standards of like misogyny and patriarchal violence that is enacted towards trans people, being effectively, well, I'll just say akin to the effects of their beliefs of how they can treat Black women.
Cool, okay. With that being said, let's come back to Ashley. Ashley, what are your thoughts on that when it comes to the trans community?
Who's they? He said how they can treat Black women. Who's they?
Anyone that's not a Black woman.
Ashley, her pronouns are she, her.
Yeah, she, her. But they being the people who enact patriarchal violence.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said before, the people who enact patriarchal violence believe
I hate to sound ignorant. I'm genuinely curious. Who specifically is enacting that? Are you talking about the government? Are you talking about citizens? Like, Who specifically is enacting that and how?
Yeah, everyone who enacts patriarchal violence.
But who specifically is doing that?
What's patriarchal violence?
It is violence. It is gender-based violence in particular. It's all of the above. Hold on. I'll answer this one at a time, y'all.
Yeah.
So, who is enacting the patriarchal violence? Yes, I don't know how else to say that. It's like patriarchal violence is harm that is bestowed upon people who do not meet men who do not meet masculine roles, trans people, black women. It is gender-based violence that happens to the degree of women that it doesn't happen to the degree of like most other people, and it is violence that happens because of the like patriarchy that is either not being or being upheld, depending on whoever is enacting it. And it's the government, it is men, it is some women do it with internalized misogyny. Like it's anyone who does these things. It's all of them. But patriarchal violence, again, gender-based violence that is harmful towards, or I'll actually say it's not even just gender-based violence, but in this particular instance, that's what we're actually talking about. But it is violence that is enacted towards someone who is either not upholding the patriarchy well enough or wants to uphold the patriarchy through things like maybe like toxic masculinity.
Can you explain how, because the prompt is Trump's America hates LGBTQIA, so can you explain how in the first 4 years of his term that he did this, like specifically?
Yeah. Enacting patriarchal violence or just
The
transphobic?
Yeah, what is specifically, what are you referring to? Are you referring to the actual prompt or?
Well, it's hard because it's the prompt and then there's the cue. So like,
Well, so this is the headline at the top. These are the topics that we're talking about, but we can dig more into it. It's not that you have to stay on complete topic. We can let the actual conversation naturally evolve from that point. But these are just guiding aspects as far as the overarching conversation.
So I guess my
jump in
question
real quick?
to the prompt is, we lived under 4 years with Trump, and there's a whole fear right now. Oh my God, he's going to take away our rights. Like it's going to be this horrible situation. But I didn't really necessarily see that happen. How specifically in law did that happen under Trump because of Trump?
Can I jump in really quick, Santana?
Hold on really quick. I want to clarify this question. Are you asking, this is why I asked this, are you asking how Trump enacted patriarchal violence, or how Trump specifically was transphobic, or how Trump does misogynoir? What exactly are you asking? Because I want to answer the question directly.
How he specifically hates the community and enacted that into law. It's a huge umbrella, I know, but just...
So Trump displays patriarchal violence through most of his actions. His rhetoric against trans people, his rhetoric saying things like we went through 4 years of Trump, and we are about to go through another 4 years of Trump. And during his campaign, he talks about how schools are giving gender reassignment surgery when they are not, and creating a fear-mongering campaign around gender reassignment surgery. He talks about how sexual education, especially when it comes to trans people in schools, is like a dangerous thing. He talks about how trans people are dangerous towards children. When it comes to just patriarchal violence, if we want to talk about that, we can go into the harm he's done to women, the things that he said to women, the sexual assaults, the things that he's done within his own organizations in order to take advantage of women within his organizations that are under his control. There's multiple things that we can talk about within Trump's dynamic of the hatred of both women and the queer community, especially trans people.
I mean,
hold on one second, Ashley.
one
Hold on
level.
one second.
Oh, go
Hold on
ahead.
one second, Ashley. Before you go, I know Hunter has something that he wanted to add.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to tie this in a little bit with another topic and kind of point it back to you, Ashley, Joe, and Lawful, the fact that ignorance is hate, right? So, Ashley, you were in the comments talking and talking, but we were having legitimate conversations on this panel, educating and all helping us trying to understand what's going on. And the fact of you coming in and immediately asking questions that were already answered. But Sean is being amazing and going so much further into depth, doing a lot of labor that she's already done. That right there is an act that could lead to violence. Just the
But do you
basic
know how long
form.
that I was in this panel? Maybe I missed that.
You were in the comments way longer
How do you know that?
because I was watching you in the comments. What kind of question is that?
I'm just
What
saying
I'm
there was a
saying
lot of
though,
things probably covered before I even showed up in the panel. I
Yeah,
haven't
not
been
gonna lie, I
listening.
jumped in from Harry's systems.
Yeah, so listen, I think there was a lot of back and forth prior to that. I think that Sean has been gracious enough to actually push the conversation forward and get Lawful and Ashley up to speed as much as possible. Yeah, Ashley, you have been in the comments battling with people and certain things. That's why I knew exactly who you were when you got ready to come up. But with that being said, I mean, we do definitely want to push this forward. We definitely want to push this forward. So let me just
I
read.
have a question when you're ready, but let me know.
Yeah, let me just read this off real quick. W's in the chat for Justin. Justin sent a $10 Venmo payment saying, "My sister is straight cis woman who is taking hormones to keep her body in balance. Some pharmacists told her that she's even wait, hold on. Some pharmacists told her that she's disgusting, even once denied giving her medicine since they assumed that she was taking that because she was a trans person. I appreciate everything." Wow, that is horrible. W's in the chat for Justin. Thank you for the $10 donation. I'm sorry to hear that your sister went through that. Like, yeah, no, people can be absolutely gross. But thank you for your donation, Justin. Thank you for being a part of the community. You're always awesome. W's in the chat for Justin. Guys, that means we're only $210 away from closing out our nightly donation goal. There are 360 people here watching. So if 210 people just send $1, we can close out our nightly donation goal. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. All of my pay links are in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, which is down in the corner of the screen. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. So if you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. And please, please, please make sure that we take care of Sean. Sean is up here on the panel laboring with us, not only tonight, but throughout this week. And we want to make sure that we hit Sean pay links as well. With that being said, Ashley, I know you have a question, but I want to move the panel along a little bit more, and I want other people to be able to speak. So I will come back to you in just a moment for I will come back to you in just a moment. But I want to give the floor to Lawful X-Pac just for a second, and then I know Andrew wants to speak. I want to come back to Javon. I want to hear from Casserole, Ty, everyone. So Lawful X-Pac. Would you like to chime in on the conversation of transphobia being misogynoir after Sean gave you that amazing explanation?
Yeah, I am not entirely sure how, with the child transphobia would actually affect someone who's secure in who they are. You know, like there's always going to be, quote, transphobic people. But if you're secure in who you are, then you can just ignore those people. And if you just go about your life, chances are those people will forget about it.
Okay,
Can
so
I respond to that, Santana?
you can. I definitely want to hear from you. I also want to hear from the therapist on that one too. But go ahead, Ty. Go ahead, Ty. Oh my God.
So Lawful, I just want you to imagine for a moment. So I actually let me ask you a question. How do you feel about all of these Trump supporters that are being disowned by their family members recently? How do you feel about that?
I feel like it's wrong to disown family members based on politics.
Interesting.
But at the end of the day, it is what you believe. It's it's your choice to disown someone.
Hold on. Let me ask this. What do you think about those people who disown members of their family when they find out that they're part of the LGBTQIA community?
Yeah, I really think that depends on the household. Some people are okay with it.
So it's not cool to disown a family member who's a Trump supporter, but in certain situations, it's okay to disown a family member that's a part of this marginalized community.
I'd say it depends because, for example, if you were, let's say you're from a very religious household, it can be seen as the worst thing in the world. Whereas some other households, it's okay.
Did you happen to hear what I said to Kendra earlier, Lawful?
Could you paraphrase what you said?
Sure. So earlier Kendra was talking about her child, and I was talking about how I commended her for accepting her child the way that her child is, because of the fact that a large chunk, like way larger than it should be, of children in foster care that have no families are specifically queer children.
And why do you think that is?
Because of families exactly like the one that you're describing, saying that it's acceptable for them to not want to accept their child because they're ultra religious. And in case you're wondering, those exact same queer youth that are in foster care, a lot of them never get a foster home either. They live in foster facilities because foster homes won't accept them either.
Do you think having a family around you stops some people from being queer, even if those people would be accepted by that family?
Can you repeat that?
Do you think some people become queer due to the absence of having a family?
I'm saying that these children are in foster care because they're queer, not because they have an absence.
Hold on 1 second. Lawful, did you just say that people are queer because they don't have a family?
I was asking her if what she was implying was the cause correlation. I see now that they're in the foster care system because.
But do you think there's a cause correlation
between having family and I believe there very well could be.
There's not.
Yeah, no.
There's not.
No, that's not how this works.
Yeah. I believe it depends how you grow up.
Lawful, you're making an assumption that people become queer. They just choose that lifestyle one day. Do you think that people would choose to be disowned by their family and would choose to have a sexuality that is stigmatized by society and might potentially get them hate crimes? Do you think that's an identity they would choose? For funsies or what? For shiggles?
I believe someone could be influenced into certain behavior, but I don't
Really?
think
Without a family?
Hold on 1 second.
A trait.
Hold on one second. And yes, Andrew, I'm coming to you. In just one moment. I just want to hear from Casserole real quick. Casserole, again, you're a therapist, so you deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak on what Lawful just said, please?
Yes. Okay. So, specifically thinking about transphobia and how it affects people, I think there's multiple layers to the experience of being trans. I say this as a non-binary person, but I also say this, and I'll probably frequently say they as I'm speaking, by the way, and I'll be referring to they, the little kiddo clients I have that ask me to advocate on behalf of them on lives. they typically have multi-layered experiences in life, and the one that affects them the worst and the most is typically their parents. Their parents and very close family and friends are the ones that impact their mental health the most. So on top of having, potential gender dysphoria, on top of the fact that they're confused about what's happening as they're getting older and why people aren't, telling them that they are who they say they are, you're talking about telling your child repeatedly for most of their life that they aren't who they say they are, and after a while it's going to have a psychological damaging effect, not just in terms of their transness, but also in your relationship. And so I think that when you say, well, can't they just like kind of get over it and like do the thing, it's like, yeah, maybe for some people who have that kind of just keep pushing on. But you have to understand that this is creating sometimes multiple comorbidities, multiple different mental health diagnoses all at the same time. It cripples people and it isolates them. So no, I don't think that it's as easy as snapping their fingers and saying, oh, well, I think I could just kind of, pick myself up and keep moving, especially if they're alone.
God damn it! I always want somebody to grab them bootstraps and pull themselves up. All right, hold on one second. Let me read these off. I want to check in with Sean, and then I want to get to Andrew for something he wanted to share. W's in the chat for Corey. Listen, Ashley, I'm just the messenger. W's in the chat for Corey. Corey sent a $5 donation to say, Ashley knows she's not going to get picked, right? Like, and then she put the eyeball emojis. W's in the chat for Corey. W's in the chat for Justin, who sent a $5 donation saying, sorry, the last Venmo message was written poorly. No, it was okay. Listen, I have a hard time reading for some reason on live. Whenever I'm live and I have to read, I don't know what happens. Gosh, really, TikTok? Sometimes when I have to read on live, I don't know, I go kind of haywire. So that's me. Your message wasn't written poorly, but thank you guys. W's in the chat for Justin. And W's in the chat for Bella. Bella sent a $16 donation saying, I'm Australian, sending much love to everyone in America that's being excluded and have to fight so hard for their rights. Remember, you have an army behind you on the other side of the world. Massive W's in the chat for Bella, and good day, mate. With that being said, Sean, before I go to Andrew for something that he wanted to share, is there anything that you wanted to jump in and speak on?
I do. I want to know if you haven't looked up like the effects of transphobia on trans people, and if you haven't looked up like the societal oppressions, the societal things that people go through, discrimination, the oppression, et cetera, why are we talking about like it's not going to do anything, or having these assumptions that like nothing's going to happen?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Both you and Ashley.
I have not looked it up. I'm just trying to figure out like the cause, like the root. Like, I'm not educated on gender dysphoria. Is it like genetic? Has there been a lot of research into the cause or the root?
That's what I mean. That would be something that before you develop an opinion on what is going to happen with the queer community or the trans people in particular, that would be something that you would need to like look up, like the effects of gender dysphoria, like where it comes from, how it's treated.
I have not looked it up, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm saying you should, though. Like, you should before you come on a panel and say, like, oh, I don't think the community is going to be affected in any way, or I don't believe that, like, anything's going to happen. Those should be things, like, if you want to say that, then you would need to, like, back those up with, number one, knowing what, I was going to say gender affirming care, knowing what gender dysphoria is and the treatments for gender dysphoria, and like why they are the treatments for gender dysphoria and the effects of gender dysphoria on people, rather than it being just like you saying like, oh, well, can't you just go on and live your life? Because if you already knew the effects of gender dysphoria, we wouldn't have to have that conversation.
Ashley, Joe, anything that you would like to add, or would you like to answer?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've looked deeply into it, and like I've listened to many people's takes on it, both people who are happy with their transition and people who, detransed, and it's complicated. Like I follow a lot of OGs in the trans community who've been around for decades who are very much against a lot of the things that are currently happening. I don't think it's so simple as
Name
to
one.
say that. Name one what?
You said you follow a lot of the OGs in the trans community that don't agree. Name one.
Buck Angel.
I go ahead.
I
And
actually interviewed him.
okay. Go ahead and
So I
finish
mean,
what you-
he's an actual like very caring person who's gone through this and like is 30 years transition, very happy with his transition, stands by it, but like he has concerns. Also, Mina Caputo, a very prominent like 30-year in trans person who like actually has experience in this, who has a lot to bring to the table, saying maybe things are going a little far right now. It's not about demonization of what's happening. It's about conversations around how dramatic it is right now and how unhealthy it is for children specifically.
Wait, okay. What do they have? Let's just go through this real quick. What do they know about what is good and what is not good for trans children?
They talk about the effects of hormones, which are very real. They talk about the need for therapy, for gatekeeping, to actually put into place, because you have a lot of parents who are kind of like pushing this and just like trusting all the therapists and the doctors who are like affirm all care, when you actually need to consider, is this mental health? Is there other factors? Is this things that people are going to grow out of? There's statistics saying that a large percentage of these kids will grow up out of transitioning and
Yeah,
turn
can we get that
gay.
statistic?
So
Can we get that statistic?
hold on, real quick. Hold on, real
I'll
quick.
teacup if I go get
One-
it, but I can.
Yeah, before anyone does this, this shows that either you or them don't know what the fuck is going on with gender affirming care, especially for children.
That's
Like,
100% not
and-
true and factual. I've looked into this for 3 years. I've been so deeply involved in this because this is deeply concerning to me. When you have children cutting off their body parts, it's concerning. We should look into
that's the
it.
issue. Like when it comes to gender, when it comes to sexual reassignment surgery, like that barely ever happens for children.
Doesn't
But
matter.
on top of this,
One child is enough.
no, it's not one child is enough because
Disagree.
like gender. Okay, excellent. So then, what is the treatment, or like what is the effective treatment for gender dysphoria?
I think that there needs to be therapy.
No.
Well,
No.
No,
Answer
you're
the
gonna tell me
question.
what
We
what
have-
what are
we
you
have
what
one.
are you going?
Hold
You're
on,
asking
we
me the
have-
question.
We
The
have
current
a
effective.
diagnosis.
Are you
We
going
have a
based on the
current
model of
diagnosis.
medicine right now?
We
Because
have a
it says
current
affirm all care,
diagnosis.
which I disagree with.
Okay,
Hold
so
on.
you disagree with
let's
on the
one
basis
second.
of what?
1 second. Ashley, let's make sure, and I just want to be super clear. Yes, we have a panel of people up here. Everyone is welcome on the panel. I appreciate everybody, but Sean is my special guest. Sean is actually driving this panel for me, so we will make sure that we give Sean the space to be able to complete sentences and say what needs to be said. So I know we're going back and forth and we're having a conversation. I don't think it's crossing any lines, but let's make sure that we're giving each other room to actually speak, especially when Sean starts speaking. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, I want direct answers because I don't want anyone virtue signaling, because I gotta tell you, I don't give a fuck about your virtue signal. What I care about is empirical data. So you disagree with gender affirming care being the treatment for gender dysphoria based on what scientific evidence?
I didn't say that I disagree with gender affirming care.
Yes, you did. Yes,
No,
you did. You
I
said-
think that
you said affirming care. That would be gender affirming care because that is the diagnosis for the treatment of gender dysphoria. It is the only thing that is effective for gender dysphoria that we know through science. So what scientific basis do you have to disagree with gender affirming care treating gender dysphoria?
I think affirming as the first response is
Scientific.
problematic. I mean, I'm
Scientific.
asked questions and then I'm over talk. I'm trying to be respectful.
No.
I'm gonna shut up.
When you start with I think, I'm going to cut you off because I don't give a fuck about what you think. Like, you could think that the earth is flat And I don't care about that. I want to know what empirical data you have that shows that the earth is flat. Right now, what we're talking about is gender affirming care, and gender affirming care scientifically is the treatment for gender dysphoria. If you disagree with that treatment, then you need to show me with scientific evidence and empirical data that that is a bad treatment. Not your thoughts, not your prayers. I don't give a fuck about virtue signaling. Talk about
Has gender affirming care always been the treatment? Do you agree that things change over time as we get more empirical data?
Yeah,
Do you
sure.
see? Do you understand that the UK has gone back on their radical gender affirming care because they realized that it caused more harm than good?
False.
And the United States is actually behind when it comes
False.
to this topic.
Yeah, it's
False
behind
how?
because
So
we
you
don't give
provide
gender
evidence to
affirming
prove
care.
that. How about that?
Because you're making me prove a negative instead of you proving the positive.
No, I'm asking
Crazy
you to
fucking
prove your
work.
point.
With gender affirming care, like in the UK, they have healthcare, like free healthcare. They have universal healthcare. In order to get gender affirming care, you get put on a waiting list. The thing about gender affirming care in the UK is that they usually treat trans people as second class citizens. So it's hard for a trans person to get seen by a doctor that specializes in gender affirming care. They've not rolled back on their treatment. You're lying. And two, inside the US, why we are behind is because we don't give gender affirming care. But that has nothing to do with the question I asked you. The question I asked you, I'm going to ask it again a fourth time, is if you disagree with gender affirming care being the treatment for gender dysphoria, then you need to come up with empirical and scientific data that shows that gender affirming care is not the good, like not the best treatment or a bad treatment for gender dysphoria. Answer that.
Okay. When it will you please let me speak for just a minute without interrupting?
If you
Will
answer
you?
it, I will. Yes,
Okay.
if you answer it,
When
I
it
absolutely will.
when it comes to children, we do not understand whether these children are going to grow out of this, whether they're going to turn out to just be gay and lesbian adults, whether they're going through a phase, whether they're, having issues with puberty or whatever. And statistics will show that sometimes, I'm not going to say the majority or anything, I'm going to say sometimes that is the case. So if that is the case ever, we need to put gatekeeping principles in place to protect children who are not of the age of consent to alter their body parts in ways that are no. This is like we're talking about kids here. Like the fact that you are dismissing children is crazy to me.
Yeah,
Because we're not talking about empirical data. You're just saying shit.
No,
I
but
don't care about your feelings. I don't care
you don't
about
care about
you
kids.
just saying shit.
Sean,
I care more about kids than you because I know the gender
Maybe
affirming
we should
care
look
for
at
people underneath the
self-unaliving
age.
rates.
Yeah, sure, we
Sean,
can do
Hold
that.
on, hold
But
on, hold
I
on, hold
know,
on, hold on
I
one
know.
second. While Sean is speaking, everybody else just hold tight. Go ahead, Sean. Finish your sentence.
I know that you don't know that gender affirming care for minors mainly consists of utilizing the correct pronouns. If it's like a trans girl, letting her grow her hair out. The clothes that they wear, it is predominantly things that are just like for children, just aesthetic, and allowing them to affirm their gender. Sometimes we give puberty blockers, but Lupron PED has been prescribed for children forever. We have decades of research on it. We don't have centuries, but we have decades of research on it. But you're just virtue signaling because you don't know what gender affirming care is. And
Lupron is prescribed for pedophiles to castrate them. So stop. You're lying.
First of all, TikTok friendly language. TikTok friendly language.
I know, but he's lying about kids.
Sean, can I ask you a question,
No,
Sean?
just
At one point in your life,
hold
Ashley.
on.
Can we not
No,
misgender?
exactly. Hold on. Everybody slow down. I know that this is getting a little bit quote unquote heated. Everyone slow down. We don't want to talk over people. There's still other people we have to get back to. And please, with the misgendering, be respectful. That's why we started this whole thing with what are your pronouns. So be respectful of those pronouns. Let me read this out. I think we need to take a little bit of time to actually take a step back because, I think, Ashley, this is what I want you to do. I have a bit of a homework assignment for you. I want you to get this together and I want you to, when I come back to you, I'm not coming right back to you right now, but when I come back to you, I want you to define what gender affirming care is. Like, so that's what I want you to be able to do. With that being said, let me read this off. W's in the chat for Kai Bear. Kai Bear sent a $25 Cash App donation to say thank you for being and bringing up these topics. Listen, these topics are important. Marginalized community is important. Being able to have these conversations is important. That's why I keep saying, hey, let's not talk over each other, but we want to be able to have these conversations. Massive W's in the chat for Kai Bear. Guys, that means we're only $159 away from closing out our nightly donation goal. There is almost 370 people in here watching. So if 159 people just send $1, just $1, we can close out our nightly donation goal. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. All of my pay links are in the link tree in the bio. It's going to be Santana Speaks 24, which is down in the corner. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. Please, please, please don't forget about Sean, because I have not heard Sean, unless Sean isn't checking her payments, I have not heard Sean say thank you to anybody yet this evening. We want to make sure that we are taking care of Sean. With that being said, Andrew, you had something that you wanted to say or share. I want to come back to Javon. I don't want to neglect Casserole or Hunter. And then at some point, we got to start migrating out. I know there's a couple of people in the queue that want to get in. I want to start actually migrating or rotating some people in and out so we can get some additional people up on the panel. But Andrew, the floor is yours.
Yeah, and after this, if you need to drop me Santana, you can always drop me whenever you need.
Thank you, my friend.
I have two things. First thing, Sean, were you ever a child? Did you, at one point in your life, were you ever a child that, I don't know, had the thought that you had today that led you down the path? Did anyone purposely mislead you on the path you're on? Did anyone purposely neglect you as a child that's led you down this journey that you are on right now in front of all of us?
No, it's quite the opposite. I had people tell me that I wasn't what I am.
Right. And I can speak as a person who's queer, who grew up in the most conservative Republican area. My parents are, thankfully, they're amazing. I am one of the lucky ones who have great family members. But in my area, every person I knew that came out of the closet was disowned. Even when I came out of the closet, I had to live out of my parents' house for 2 months because it was nonstop fighting. There are moments where I grew up playing sports. I hung out with all the girls. I was a jock. You would look at my life, and not one thing on my life would made you even assume that I would have turned out queer. But I knew ever since I was little, deep down in my soul, that the heterosexual narrative was not something I conformed to. I never looked at women and thought, wow, that's who I want to be with. I never looked at women and thought, they're going to be my end-all be-all. That never has happened in my life in the 32 years that I've existed. Not once has that ever happened. And I'm sorry, Ashley, you want to sit here and say, well, what about the children? What about the children? We were children. I had to learn everything about the queer community by myself. I could not talk to my parents about it. I'm half Mexican, so being queer as a Mexican is also not allowed. I had nobody in my neighborhood to look up to or to speak about on the things that I was feeling or the things that I was interested in. All Disney shows you is you're going to find your prince and you're going to find your princess. All Cartoon Network, all the shows. All they ever show you is how a man and woman is supposed to be the end-all be-all. And so congratulations, you want to sit here and protect the children, but you've neglected children over the years. You've neglected people who to this day go see counselors like Casserole and talk about our problems and our issues, because for the longest time in our life, people just kept telling us, no, you're not a woman. No, you don't like men. No, you can't be this way. No, you can't dress like a girl. No, you can't dress like a guy. No, you can't cut your hair short. No, you can't have your hair long. No, you can't do this because it makes you look too feminine. Or no, you can't do this because it makes you look too masculine. So while you want to sit here and pretend that you care about the children, you are neglecting the fact that you have neglected children your entire life, and that there are people like me and Sean who have fought through our own personal issues, our own uh, uh, biases to figure out who we are as people so we can nurture the youth that you are quote unquote trying to protect, even though I highly doubt you ever speak to any of them. And Santana, I will end on that note.
Thank you, Andrew. I love you so much. You're always so awesome when you come through. Guys, W's in the chat for Andrew. Let me say this real quick. Ashley, Joe, and Lawful. And mods, I got them. I know you guys were muted in the chat. I unmuted you because I do want you to be able to actually engage in the conversation in the chat as long as it's respectful and it's not taken away from when you're on the panel. And also when there's certain things like Lawful just said that he had a question, and I need to be able to see those type of things. But I'm telling you, the only reason I unmuted you, and this is just me giving you a warning, if it continues to happen, like if we want to be engaged with the conversation on the panel, so you don't need to necessarily be in the chat while you're on the panel, because you need to be engaged and listening and actually having these conversations. But also too, I want you to be able to actually, raise your hand, or if something comes up or whatever, you want to jump in and actually join a certain spot in the conversation. So I'm asking you to please remain respectful of the conversation that's being had on the panel, and try to stay out of the chat, especially if you're spreading any type of misinformation. Hey,
Santana?
Yes.
Can I go, and then I got to drop?
Yeah, go right ahead, Hunter.
So again, keep it.
Can I say this real quick to Justin and Corey? I just want to say W to Justin and Corey. Thank you for the cash apps.
Hey.
I really appreciate it. You guys are amazing.
W's in the chat for Justin and Corey. W's in the chat for Justin and Corey. Hey, thank you, guys. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Hunter.
No, awesome W's for sure. So yeah, real quick to what Al is saying, Ashley. Honestly, when we've been saying that Sean's pronouns are she, her, so I do think an apology is necessary, but I'm not the host, but to speak on, again, with the kids, if you are so worried about the kids and you are so concerned with the permanent effects or anything like that, let's go back and actually start thinking about, did we provide a safe space? Did we foster the ability for kids to explore what it even means to be straight, what it even means to be cisgender, or any of the other amazing labels that a lot of people think that when you choose a label, that's your label for life, when in reality, for me personally, I see labels as stepping stones, things to help me personally understand what is even possible, because growing up, all I was taught and traumatized into being was the straight cisgender of what I was born. And turns out that is not it at all. But no, I didn't get to figure that out through the environment I was in, because yeah, I'm a little blue dot in a sea of red. So the concept of actually exploring who you really are, and your family looking at you as, hey, that's something worth looking into. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? Are you asking kids? Are you talking to kids to figure out their situation, their lived experience, rather than telling them what you think that they should be? Because I think kids have an amazing perspective, and when we actually start listening to them, we tend to learn a lot more than we ever thought that we were pushing down their throats.
Perfect. Thank you, Hunter. I will say this real quick. Hunter, Ashley, Joe, Lawful. Did either one of you wanted to? Because Lawful, I know you said that you had something you wanted to, or a question. So did either one of you want to say anything to either Andrew or Hunter before we cycle them out?
Yeah. So honestly, when there's permanent effects of a drug, I believe that. What was that?
Rug, yeah. TikTok doesn't like the.
Oh,
the
okay, sorry.
Yeah. No,
when there's permanent effects of certain medicine, like there are with antidepressants, I believe that a child's feelings are not outweighed by the permanent effects of that medicine, such as infertility, early balding, things that can make a child's life very miserable. It could completely ruin that child, and I think that's wrong. And at the end of the day, if a child is born with XY chromosomes, he's a boy for life, and if she's born with XX chromosomes, she's a girl for life.
Okay. I will allow anyone on the panel that's a part of the community to respond to that before I say anything. I don't want to step on anyone's toes.
Yeah, if I could hop in here. So, Lawful, I urge you to do some research into biology that's higher level than 7th grade. Because while the standard is XXXY, there are a lot more gene variations, a lot more chromosomal variations than just those two. Intersex people literally exist. So...
Hold
I'm sorry?
on, Lawful. No one interrupted you. Please stay on mute. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, so intersex people literally exist. They don't do anything to change their gender. And in fact, you were bringing up gender-affirming surgeries on children. The majority of those gender-affirming surgeries that are performed on children are actually mutilations of intersex people. It's specifically gender-affirming intersex people to what their parents think should be their standard gender. So whenever you have babies that are born with multiple different kinds of genitalia, which is a thing that happens, their parents will remove one of those and force them to live their life as the gender that they chose. That's a thing that happens. And the life-altering, body-altering surgeries that you're referring to, the vast majority of them occur on this demographic of children. It has nothing to do with transgender children. And in regards to the drugs that you're talking, rugs that you're talking about, on children, the vast majority of those are just puberty blockers, which are completely reversible. There's a time frame in which the effects of those are completely reversible. All it does is pause puberty, and it'll restart as soon as you get off of them. And puberty blockers have been safely used on children for years for non-transgender issues. It specifically has been used in children who have started puberty too early.
Yeah, this actually segues perfectly into what I was going to say. This is what I mean by like research not being done by people before we make like these accusations of. Hold on, give me 1 second.
Yep. While you're oh, okay, go ahead.
No, I literally needed 1 second to wipe off my screen.
Okay.
I turned my camera on here. So I just wanted to.
Hold on, I'm going to give you the big screen. You're going to have to back out just a little bit once I put you in the big box, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Hey, Santana, can you quickly jump into Law's most recent video?
Sure.
Yeah, let me show my work here real quick, y'all. So what I talked about Lupron for is I went to Google and I said, what do we use Lupron for? I actually said, what do you use Lupron for? It translated it to what to use Lupron for, and it's prostate cancer, endometritis, uterine fibroids, breast cancer, central precocious puberty, holy shit, and anemia. So I went into Lupron PD. I said, what do we use Lupron PD for? And it said the treatment of, sorry, it's shaky. The treatment of pediatric patients with central precocious puberty. Okay, that term comes up twice, so let's look up precocious puberty. Precocious puberty is also known as early puberty and is used when a child enters puberty before the typical age, girls before 8, boys before 9. So utilizing Lupron PED for puberty blockers for 1, precocious puberty, and for 2, trans children is something that we've been doing for a long time. So this idea that puberty blockers would be harmful, even though we have all of this research to suggest otherwise, with no research to suggest what they're saying is actually true, is what I mean. Like these things are harmful, like I guess stereotypes that have been made up about these things in order to say, oh, we only use Lupron for PDF files or whatever else. It's just simply not true. Like, we use them for precocious puberty. I've Googled it. This is the AI overview. We can go to Cleveland Clinic. We can go to Johns Hopkins, WebMD, breastcancer.org, Medical News Today, Lupron GYN, Lupron PED. We can go to lupronped.com. They actually have their own website. Sorry, I'm used to it being a tall screen. Yeah, these things are studied and researched. So when I ask you a question, especially about trans people and what they're saying about trans people, I'm done with the big screen, by the way, Santana. When I'm asking you about trans people and the things that you're saying about trans people and there being harms enacted upon trans people, that's cool and all. You can say that all you want. I just want the data. That's all I care about. I don't care about if you think it's harming trans kids. I don't care about if you think there's irreversible things that are happening. I want the data because, one, gender affirming care is specific to each child, and two, the things that we utilize for gender affirming care are either one, absolutely positively harmless, or two, things that we use for cis children anyway, and we have years of study on them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for that, Sean. Now, I know Ashley Joe wants to reply. I will get to you in just a second. Lawful, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Hey, I hope you saw my my comment. Like, we got to stay out of the chat. I want you to be able to actually be engaged in the... Hey, W's in the chat for Al. I want you to be able to be engaged in the conversation because I was coming back
I was
to you.
responding to it. I had to write down my thoughts.
Yeah, yep, no worries. Perfect. Guys, W's in the chat for Kimberly. Kimberly sent a $50 donation, like massive, extreme amount of W's in the chat for Kimberly, who sent a $50 donation saying, thanks for hosting these important conversations. Listen, thank you for being here, Kimberly. And also, guys, massive W's in the chat for Justin, who just sent another $2 donation. Justin sent a $2 donation, said, tell Lawful to catch me outside. Lawful. Justin want to put the pause on you, Lawful. Yeah, but guys, massive W's in the chat for Kimberly and Lawful. Guys, that means we're only $107 away from closing out our nightly donation goal. $107 from closing out our nightly donation goal. There's almost 400 people here, so if 107 people just send $1, just $1. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all of my pay links are in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. So if you enjoy the information, entertainment, education, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. It allows us to continue to host these lives. And please don't forget about Sean, because Sean is here. As you can see, Sean is doing all the heavy lifting. I'm just sitting here chilling. So please make sure that we are taking care of Sean while Sean is on the panel with us. Okay. Thank you for being up here, Lawful. Please make sure that we're taking care of Sean while Sean is on the panel, and making sure that we're hitting Sean's pay links. Let's do all the wonderful things. Also, guys, like, the likes are moving super slow tonight. We're only at 130,000 likes. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to challenge you guys. I'm going to absolutely challenge you guys. I'm going to put a timer up, right? So let's put a timer up, and we're going to put a timer up for 10 minutes, starting now. The timer for 10 minutes. If we don't get to 200,000 in 10 minutes, I'm going to turn the chat off. So, tap the screen, share the live, do all the wonderful things. Oh, hey, W's in the chat for Mia. Mia sent a $2 donation. Thank you so much, Mia. W's in the chat for Mia. Thank you, Mia.
Can I do a mod thing real quick?
Yeah, go right ahead, Al.
So I just wanted to say to everybody in the comments, I was made aware of Law's last video. I did make Santana aware of it. Santana makes his own choices in his own live. So while we appreciate...
Yeah, we can listen, guys. Let me just say this. While we're on the panel having conversations, we want to stick to the conversations that we're having on the panel. With that being said, I know people like to bring attention to other people's videos or whatever the case may be. I don't want to necessarily watch any videos, but any information can be communicated to my mods. My mods will know how to communicate it through the back channels and make sure that we're good. So I appreciate everybody with any type of overarching communication. Thank you, but we're gonna make sure that we keep these things moving. Also, with that being said, guys, W's in the chat for Jessica. Jessica sent $1 donation, said, ask Ashley why she gets her information from Blair White. Ooh. W's in the chat for Jessica for that $1 donation. With that being said, Ashley, why do you get your information from Blair White? And then also, I know you had something that you wanted to respond to Sean about. And Ty, I'm actually going to swap you out, my friend, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Why does she think or they think I get my information from Blair?
I don't know. That's what the donation said. I'm just telling you what the donation said.
Well, first I want to say I apologize for misgendering. Like, I genuinely do. Like, it's hard when you're on a space and you don't, like, when you meet someone in person, it's different. But it is what it is. I apologize. Yeah. So, why do I get my information from Blair White? That's an assumption that, I don't know.
Okay. You said you had something that you wanted to say or a reply that you wanted to add or something like that.
Well, it's just interesting to me that everyone is saying, like, it's hard when you guys don't allow us to talk in the comments, and I understand why. But, like, a lot of people are coming at you with accusations and you're not allowed to respond, and I'm like,
yeah,
confused a little bit. I understand I'm supposed to pay attention and I'm doing that, but like there's two conversations happening here.
Right. So I always say this, and I'm gonna keep it funky with you, Ashley. I tell people all the time, like, hey, if you want to have a conversation in the chat, then I can drop you down. You can talk in the chat, but while you're on the panel, like, we need to be engaged with the panel, whether it's one-on-one debates or panel discussions. And I do at least like the sentiment behind what Lawful Expac said, as far as he was writing down his thoughts so he can come back to it. But like I don't want you, like, one, the chat gets wicked. That's just real. But I don't want anybody to actually focus on the chat because we need to be locked in on the conversation while we're on the panel. So that's why I don't like the dual listen. Normally my mods just mute you if they see you talking from the panel in the chat anyway. I unmuted you because I want to be able to, see you, and I want you to be able to say things here and there, but not to actually be able to respond to people or hold massive conversations in the chat. So
no, that's fair. I guess for me, it's like there's a lot of assumptions being made, and my whole issue comes back to I was a bisexual child who was first attracted to girls, and I breastbound the minute I hit puberty. I hated my body. I hated the formulation of my body, the way that it was progressing. And like, I just think about that constantly. Like, I grew into a bisexual woman who's like proud and happy to be who I am. But at the time, if I was living in this time and I was ashamed of my breasts, I'm terrified that like in this culture, someone would have allowed me to change my body in a way that now I grew into loving my body. And like, I worry about kids for that reason. It's not like because I'm a bigot. Like, people are saying a lot of things in the comments.
Hey,
that are like,
Ashley, do you want to engage with Sean? Like, you made a claim, Sean disproved the claim that you made. Do you want to engage in
which claim? Because it's like one thing will happen and then like a lot of people speak and I'm supposed to be quiet. So like, which specific claim?
No one has really spoken since Sean broke down the information about the actual rug that you said was used for 3POs. So there's that.
3POs. What's that?
We can't say the word. We can't say the word on TikTok because it's not TikTok friendly language. But you said that the rug, the medication is given.
Oh yeah. Well,
and
the
Sean completely,
and I know he said there's no way.
She.
So I apologize. I forget.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're gonna
so
stop doing
This
that.
is like
first of all, I forget who
Santana.
I was
I gotta
speaking
say
to. It wasn't
something.
misgendering. It's
I
literally.
have to say something here,
Hold on,
Santana.
hold
I'm
on, hold
sorry.
on. No,
Can
no,
we
no,
stay
no,
on
no, 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 no,
topic
no,
and
no, no,
not be
no, no. Hold
sensitive,
on, hold
please?
on. No, 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 no. Everybody else mute up. I had this conversation with Sean last night. I've had this conversation with Sean on the back end. Sean is running the show, and I will let Sean speak for herself, defend herself. Sean has this. This is Sean's show, and if it's ever a situation like Sean's got it. I know she has to be corrected. We've corrected her multiple times. I'm gonna trust Sean. I know everybody else on the panel wants to speak up, but I'm gonna trust Sean on this one.
Yeah, Sean, do you want to remove me or accept
No,
my?
no one said anything about removing you. This is the last time that I'm gonna say anything. Please, it's she. We've said it. It's she.
I understand.
Okay,
And
move
I
forward.
apologize.
Thank you.
I genuinely apologize.
Yep. Okay, go ahead.
So, as far as where I get my information when it comes to the rugs, it is I listen to so many detransitioners. And I know that that is something that everyone wants to brush aside like it doesn't matter, but it matters to me. And it tugs on my heart like so much because I think of myself when I was a confused kid who rejected my body. And I think about what could have happened. And I think about these kids now who grow up to be adults and they have irreversible effects now based on what they were, allowed to do and affirmed to do. And that includes the rugs because there are voice changes that don't go back. There are many things that don't go back. So to just blanket say it's irreversible, it's totally harmless, I feel like we're not doctors here and we shouldn't be making that claim. We should consider these children and put every gatekeeping thing in place to make sure that we're protecting them lawfully.
Okay, let me say this real quick, Sean, before you hop in. Guys, we got less than 2 minutes to get it up to 200,000 likes, so we're going to sub only. Watch the counter that is in the middle of the screen or whatever. Watch the counter. We got less than 2 minutes to get it up to 200,000 likes, or we are going to sub only. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
Real quick, big W's to Hannah. Thank you so much for the $50.
Hey, and you know what? Since you're gonna get yours off, I'm gonna get mine off too. W's in the chat for.
Sorry. I was supposed to keep that person anonymous. Never mind.
Oh,
I read the thing late. I'm sorry. I'll refund it if you want me to. Just send me a message. Tell me if you want me to refund.
Real quick, why am I a bigot? Everyone keeps calling me a bigot. Can you guys explain
my
why
God,
I'm a
Ashley, please get out of the
No,
comments.
but come on.
Listen, get out of the
But
comments.
why am I a bigot?
Chill. Listen. W's in the chat for Kimberly. Kimberly
I
added
mean,
a $10.
I could list the reasons.
Yeah.
For
if you
Kimberly,
really want me
Wait,
to.
guys,
Love to
listen.
say.
The host is talking. The host is talking.
It's crazy.
W's in the chat for Kimberly. Kimberly added a $10 donation to the nightly donation goal, saying, man, you have the most soothing voice, respectfully. I don't think so, but thank you. I think it sounds a little bit nasally. W's in the chat for Kimberly. Guys, that means we are now only $94 away from closing out the nightly donation goal. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to help support the live. So if you are interested in, or if you enjoy the information, entertainment, education, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. With that being said, guys, we are at 183,000 likes. Doesn't look like we're going to make it to that 200,000 like mark. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and turn the comments off. If you guys want to get the comments back on, then we need to go ahead and get the live up to 200,000 likes, or you can go ahead and grab a subscription, and then you can continue to chat. Let me just introduce the new people on the panel real quick, and then we will come back and finish with this conversation because there's multiple people on the panel who have not been able to speak. Is it Adele? Is that your
Aaron, and my last
Aaron.
name's Dalal. So yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, Aaron.
Sorry.
Aaron. No worries, Aaron.
Yeah,
Aaron,
thank you. Yeah.
can you give us your pronouns? Are you a part of the community? And just really quick, what do you expect for the next 4 years out of the Trump administration with the community?
Yeah. I'm a she, her, and I think that the next 4 years are going to be really scary for not just women or people of color, but also for the LGBTQIA plus community. And I think that my biggest problem as I'm listening to this conversation, and I've been listening, and why can people not allow for other people to have bodily autonomy? I don't understand. It doesn't matter their age. It should be between their doctor, their parents, and them. And that's the only people that should be involved in that conversation. And speaking to Republicans who are all about small government, it's really interesting how they're bringing in the government into women who are pregnant, their doctor's offices, and also now people who are transgender. So it's like, pick one side or the other. Quit being hypocritical. Not you at all, but like I'm saying about MAGA, quit being hypocritical. Either choose your small government side, and it does not affect, or choose the other, but it does not affect a single MAGA voter or a single Trump voter at all when these children are making these decisions. And that's what's so infuriating. Or whether a woman chooses to not have a child.
Absolutely.
It does not affect them at all. And it's so infuriating to have some of these people making decisions about other people's bodies.
Absolutely.
Either
And I
choose
think that's
small
the thing.
government or don't. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Aaron. That's
Yeah.
definitely a
No,
thing.
thank you for
the
letting
honey.
me say that. Yeah.
Absolutely. No worries. Thank you so much. 4M. 4M, what it do?
Hey, what's up, friend?
Can I clarify something just really
Yeah,
quickly?
go right ahead.
Because I do want this conversation, especially around trans people, trans children, to revolve around the things that are actually happening. Children aren't making decisions. Children are telling adults who are specialized in diagnosing and coming up with treatments for these particular ailments, whether that be dysphoria, and prescribing gender affirming care to these children. The adults and the specialists are the people who are making these decisions, people who went to school for this shit. It's not a 9-year-old saying, like, I'm going to start taking Lupron now. Like, no one does that. It is doctors. It is people who you would consult if you were diagnosed with any kind of cancer, and their decisions to treat your cancer would be at least I would hope so, by you accepted. And it's to me, it's just very strange that like these professionals are being doubted because people, for whatever reason, believe that like, oh, this 9-year-old is just going out here today and hitting up CVS and being like, I'm gonna buy this Lupron today. Crazy work to me. Like, that is not what's happening. These things are consulted for years. We talk to the children, like children are talked to. It is diagnosed by professionals, and the professionals and the parents make the decision of what is best for that child. And that is how gender affirming care is distributed amongst each child.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And I feel like it's not up. Exactly. I could not agree more. And I feel like it's not up to Trump supporters to make those decisions for children that they don't know. And even if they did transition, it would not affect any Trump supporter's life at all who did not know that child at all. So I don't know why they have control over it. And that's just infuriating to me. So sorry, I'll be quiet now.
No worries. Thank you. 4M, can you tell the people really quick, because I want to get back into it, your pronouns, are you a part of the community, and high level expectation in the next 4 years with the Trump administration with the community?
Well, he, him, interesting story. I actually came out as bi a couple days ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Everybody's been super friendly, especially people from the LGBTQI community. I don't want to tokenize that. I just, wanted to be upfront about that. I'm not sure if I can call myself a part of the community yet because I don't want to come off as like performative or like, I don't know how exactly to phrase it, but you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Real quick, Mighty Morphin, are you
yeah.
bi?
What? Yeah. I just came out as bi a couple days ago.
Okay, then you're part of the community.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, I want to tread carefully.
You thought this was a choice, nigga? You thought you could just opt out?
But
no, well, I think what he's saying is like he hadn't filled out his paperwork yet. He didn't.
Yeah.
he didn't. When the other day when the wife and I got married, like we were married, but we had some paperwork we had to send in, so we were kind of married for a while.
You had some paperwork you had to fill out.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you. I see you on all these lives, and you're always amazing. You're fucking hilarious.
Somebody said he hasn't got his membership card yet. That's exactly what it is.
But what I was gonna, as far as the next 4 years go, the thing that a lot of people I don't think realize on the right or on the MAGA side is that it's not specifically Trump that we're worried about, even though he's the catalyst for the hatred. It's his base that champions these hateful things, the bigotry and the phobia and all this. They're the ones that champion it. The Triple K members, the Proud Boys. Every single time a MAGA comes up, it almost always leads to some form of bigotry or transphobia. It always does. And that's what, it's going to happen over the next 4 years is that Trump's rhetoric emboldens them. It emboldens them. And it's going to get progressively worse and worse because they're not even happy. And they're going to take that out on us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that everyone has to be cautious and careful of. Thank you for that. Maddie, what are your pronouns? Are you a part of the community? And real quick, what do you expect out of the next 4 years of the Trump administration with the community?
Yeah, 36, she, her pronouns. I am bi, so I am part of the community. The next 4 years are going to be terrible. I mean, worse than the last 4 years with him. Would it be okay if I addressed Ashley, or were you not looking to get back into that yet?
Not yet. I'm just trying to verify something real quick, so I just wanted to get everyone's perspective. Yeah. Okay, so I'll come right back to you.
No problem.
And last but not least, how do I say your username?
Yodishi? You can call me Yodo. That's what everybody calls me.
Yodo. Can I call you YOLO?
It's easy enough. Sure. I have
YOLO.
responded to basically anything.
All right. What are your pronouns? Are you a part of the community? And what do you expect out of these next 4 years of the Trump administration concerning the community?
Yeah, I primarily use they, them, but any pronouns. I am one of the queerest queer people to ever queer.
Queer?
Yeah. So, yes, very much part of the community. As for next 4 years, I've got a little bit more of a hot take, but I'm still on line with you guys. I don't think it's as much of a concern of the Trump administration specifically, but with it being a more right-controlled Congress and executive branch that will embolden the bigger concern that is the Supreme Court.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've already seen the Supreme Court has precedent to go in and overturn rights that are only protected by a court case and not codified laws. Currently, we have both Upgravel v. Hodges and Lawrence v. Texas, which are like the two quintessential protections for gay rights in the United States that are not codified. They are only court cases. And we have that precedent of the Supreme Court overturning those kind of things. So that's my bigger concern overall.
Absolutely. Perfect. Thank you so much, Yoda. Also, Mo, real quick, Mo, can you tell the people your pronouns? Are you a part of the community? And what do you expect for these next 4 years when it comes to the community?
I am a question mark. We're just going to put it that way.
Okay.
For the next 4 years, hopefully, and it's probably like fantasy dream, nothing will change. But, it's like the worst case scenario. You have to prepare for the worst case scenario and hope for the best.
I know that's right. Okay, Mo, I'm gonna need you to go back on mute because Mo, it feels like you're holding your phone like this when you're talking. It's like you're doing this. And so you're just on the mic.
Oh no, is this better? I was in the bathroom.
Okay. Yeah.
Was washing my face.
Okay. You were pooping. Tell the truth, Mo. Mo, you was taking a poop on
I was
live.
washing my face. No, I was washing my face.
W's in the chat for Mo taking a poop while she on live.
Oh my God. Now, since you got me up here, let me go ahead and say what I got to say, and I can drop.
Hold on. Okay. Wait, hold on. Let me.
Since
hold on.
Because it's
Let me
gonna
tell
be.
the people what the clock is.
It's gonna be quick.
Let me tell people what the clock is. Guys, so you guys might have noticed that I just turned on a timer, a 30-minute timer. I just want to. So this is something new that I'm trying to do because I'm trying to make sure that I'm respectful of the time and we actually, kind of keep within a normal time frame. So the 30-minute, I'm starting to set a 30-minute timer when there's almost 30 minutes before we close out the show. So just watch the timer. We're going to try to stay as close as we can and not go over. I like to talk, so my wife fussed at me. Anyway, Mo, you wanted to say what you had to say real quick.
Real quick, that was a shitty joke.
It wasn't a joke. Mo?
It was fun.
Hold on, there you go.
I couldn't find my mic right quick. Sorry. As far as what I can say, as far as the children and puberty blockers, I had an experience with my youngest son. He was 5 years old and had breasts. They put him on puberty blockers for 3 months. And it was actually just breast tissue on both sides that just accumulated. He wasn't female, had no chromosomes, they did all the genetic testing. He was male. He is male. But he literally just grew breasts. They had to put him on those puberty blockers before he had surgery. He literally had to have surgery to remove the breast tissue. Now he's 18 years old now and he's fine. But if they prevent children from getting the care, even children like my son will not be able to get the care because they put it under gender affirming care because of the medication he was on and because of what he was experiencing. So it's not just transitioning children. You know what I'm saying? It's all the children.
Absolutely.
You can't, I went through it because, like I said, my son was 5 years old. He had a bigger chest than I had. So they want to ban the medications for the children. Sometimes it has to be used.
Yep.
They have to take the stuff.
Yep. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people get caught up in, and they think that it's just used for certain situations. There's a lot of situations that these medications are needed for. So I'm thank you for sharing that, Mo. I appreciate you for coming up and speaking that and sharing the story, and you know how much I appreciate you. So she dropped herself. Mo went to go back to finish her poop, y'all. Anyway, We're going to get back into the conversation. I want to be able to have the conversation. Let me just read these two off real quick. W's in the chat for Sarah. Sarah sent $1 donation saying, thank you for making such an amazing TikTok family. Sarah, thank you for being a part of an amazing TikTok family. We love you, Sarah. Thank you. W's in the chat for Sarah. Also, W's in the chat for Ren I Am. What up, Ren? Who sent a $3 donation, say I like round numbers. Listen, we in here. I appreciate you. Thank you, Ren, for the W's in the chat for Ren. Guys, that means we're only $90 away from closing out our nightly donation goal. $90 away. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. All of my pay links are in the link tree in the bio. It's going to be Santana Speaks 24, which is down in the corner of the screen. Santana Speaks 24. It's the best way to support the live. Listen, it's like 340 people in here watching, so if only 90 people send $1, we can close out our nightly donation goal. Everything is accepted, anything is appreciated. With that being said, Ashley Joe, I think you had something that you wanted to say, and then I want to open it up to all of the panel so we can just kind of have like a round robin conversation. Ashley Joe, are you there?
No, I'm here, but I think someone had a question for me, but that was a while ago.
Okay. Yeah, was it
was
Mandy?
me.
Yep. Okay, go ahead, Mandy.
Yeah, so now that you understand that the rugs that you're referring to that you don't think should be used for gender affirming care for trans kids, do you think they should be taken away from cis kids as well?
No, I don't think the drugs should be taken away at all.
Okay, can you please use TikTok safe language and be
Rugs,
respectful
rugs.
of the host space?
No, I don't think they should be taken away.
Or you can say medication. Yeah, rugs or
Okay.
medication, whatever. It's again, the reason why we have to say these type of words is just to make sure that there's no issues with the live, because the TikTok will come and get you, Ashley Joe, and they'll come and get me. Listen, they'll come and collect both of us. So we just want to make sure that we can continue to talk.
Right. So if your issue is the side effects, right? Any potential side effects that wouldn't be reversible, those would exist for the cis kids as well. So why would you only want to take away this treatment option from trans kids and not cis kids? Like, what possible concern could you have that would justify that double standard?
I never said that. Any of the things you're saying.
You said you don't think that trans kids should have access to puberty blockers.
I never said that. Ever.
Okay, so do you think trans kids should have access to puberty blockers?
I think that should be a treatment that takes place way down the road, and I think it should be taken more seriously than it is
Ashley,
now.
respectfully, how can it take place after puberty?
You're asking me a question and cutting me off.
Well, because you said down the road, but puberty blockers can only be taken at a specific stage. You can't take a puberty blocker at 16
blocking
if you've
puberty is
already
really
gone.
dangerous.
Excuse me.
And the fact that you don't understand that is insane. It should
understand-
be
you
a
said push it-
precautionary thing, a very last case resort, not affirming immediately, which is gender affirming care. It's just I affirm everything you say as a child, even though you can't affirm
Ashley,
to a child to drink
I
or
would
to get a
respectfully
tattoo.
ask you, because you're going way down the line here.
No.
You're way off point, right?
You're just
don't-
cutting me
you
off. You're asking me
don't want-
questions and cutting me off, but it's fine. I'll mute so you can
you
continue to
said,
talk.
thank you,
Make
I
your
would
point.
appreciate
Hold
that.
on. Yeah, let's not speak over each other. I
This
think
is
it is
always
important.
the way that it is. This
Yeah.
is always the way it is. It's like I want to ask you a question. I've been quiet this whole time.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question, and then I'm going to interrupt you a million
and
times
I'm,
while you're
I'm
trying to answer.
jumping in on this right now, Ashley Joe. Yeah, so let's make sure we're allowed to actually be able to finish our sentence, especially when questions are asked. But also, I think it's important that it's the attention is drawn that we do want to try to call out misinformation, but we do want to give each other the opportunity to breathe and speak. So let's do this one more time. Mandy, go ahead with your question, and then Ashley, you can go ahead and finish answering your question. No interruptions from anybody.
Okay, so you said to push off puberty blockers down the line, but that's not something that can be done, right? The correct time for a child to take puberty blockers is like Tanner stage 2 of puberty. You can't put it off until you're well into puberty. So could you please clarify what you mean by that? Because that's not how puberty blockers work. You don't just put it off. Like, you need it when you need it based on how your body is developing.
I disagree fully with puberty blockers as a affirming treatment, especially when it's rushed before therapy, before multiple conversations that lead to understanding why this child might be going through this thing. I think that puberty blockers are getting pushed on children and affirmed really quickly when we don't understand whether that child is going to grow out of that or not, or maybe become gay and maybe doesn't need to transition.
Oh,
So
okay. Let me
we
ask
need
you.
to calm down on puberty
Hold on, let her
blockers
finish.
because
No, I'm
they're
sorry,
not reversible. They're not.
Okay, well that is misinformation, but like, and I thought you were done, so I do
That's fine.
apologize.
Go ahead. I'm gonna actually drop down and let you guys have your echo chamber. I'm the only opposition.
I'm
tired of being,
literally
like,
trying to ask
talked
you a
over.
question.
No, I get it. Everyone here hates me, and that's fine. But I'm glad.
I don't.
Yeah, I just dropped you. I'm sorry. I can't keep doing the whining. If you want to be up here and have a conversation, Ashley, Joe, you can. If you want to whine, you can whine from the comments. I'm sorry. Like you said that there's an echo chamber, yet we provided a platform for you to be able to speak. And also there was someone up here who had the same type of stance as yourself. We had two people that had the similar position. It just so happens that no one else is quote unquote brave enough to request up to actually speak from that point of view. So it's not an echo chamber when we're not allowing anyone to speak. When I specifically said multiple times, stop cutting each other off and let people speak. So you can keep whining all you want to, but whine from the comments. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing well. If I may touch on one thing real quick that she said.
Yeah.
She ended with becoming gay. You don't become gay. You're born gay just like you're born straight. It just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not born, you don't become gay.
Yep. I think that's important to call out. Sean.
Hmm?
The floor is yours. You were about to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say something. I was going to make a joke, but I'm not going to make it no more. So
listen, hold on. Whoa, hold on. I don't know if you noticed this about me, but I'm always here for the jokes. I'm gonna get them jokes off regardless. So don't ever miss an opportunity to get a joke off.
I'm chilling. I was going. What I was really going to say, like, if you really want to know, I was going to say something, but it's a very queer joke. It was either you're born gay or you drink the water. It is that thing. But if you don't understand Alex Jones references, then you're not going to think it's funny.
Oh, it's an Alex Jones reference.
Frogs gay. Yes.
Oh,
I love that reference.
Got it.
Thank you, Sean.
Got it.
But,
Got it.
I think it's
put some frogs in the chat. Anyway, go ahead.
Gay frogs in the chat.
I'm feeling froggy tonight.
Anyway, you were about to say something, Sean.
Yeah, I was about to say, I want Maddie to finish what she was saying if she wants to, but I think this is mad important because when we're talking about like data and we're talking about something that can be, I'm an empiricist. I go based upon empirical data. I don't care about anything else, nothing else whatsoever. And when we're talking about data and what it is that puberty blockers are used for, how puberty blockers are prescribed, what puberty blockers do if they're reversible, and but on top of that, gender affirming care in general for minors, which is sometimes doesn't even persist of puberty blockers, and is mostly just aesthetic things. Like I said, clothes, hair, pronouns, name changes, maybe sometimes not a legal name change, but like calling your kid Katie. If your kid's like, I'm a girl, I want to be called Kate. Okay, calling your kid Katie. Actually, we'll get into that. I'm a bit of a traditionalist, but we'll talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
The point is that when people go up against these things and they say, oh yeah, I talked to elders in the trans community or whatever else, this, that, and the other, I think it's very important for people to understand. I don't give a fuck about an elder in a community. I don't give a fuck about a person who is in a community and has been in a community for a long time. They can kick rocks.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know the empiricism. I want to know the scientific backing to what it is that you're saying, the harm that is being caused through empirical data that we can look, we can repeat, we can analyze and go, okay, yes, this thing is harmful. We need to find a new thing. And if you don't have that, you should probably shut up.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Boom. I want to go around the panel, but before I do, massive W's in the chat for Carol. Massive W's in the chat for Carol. Carol sent a $50 Venmo donation saying, I woke up as soon as you dumped Ashley. Massive W's in the chat for Carol, who added a $50 donation to the nightly donation goal. Guys, we're only $40 away from closing out our nightly donation goal. Only $40 away. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all of my pay links are in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to actually support the live. So if you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. And please don't forget about Sean, because Sean, one, has the coolest username or whatever you want to call it for the Cash App and the Venmo. If you don't believe me, go check it out. It's Watch My Legs. But two, Sean has been up here laboring all night on the panel, dealing with Ashley, dealing with Lawful, dealing with everybody, dealing with me. And chat, you know that's not easy. Like, fuck everybody else. Excuse my language. Forget everybody else.
Wait, where'd Maddie go? I wanted Maddie to finish if she wanted to finish. I wanted her to
Maddie,
finish.
are you still here? Maddie, do you want to come back up? I don't know. Sometimes people just randomly leave me. Like, you know, sometimes they tell me they're going to the store to get milk and they just never come back, or sometimes they just drop off.
Chill out. Chill out.
Hey, no wonder Erica left you.
They just leave me. Every time my wife leave out the door, I don't know if she coming back or not. It's a surprise. Every single day she walk back in, I'm like, oh shit. So
did you hear me, Santana?
I heard you.
I was like, no wonder Erica left. It was like, yeah, I'm doing my own live now.
Listen, that's what happens. Everybody leaves me. It's okay. I still got all the voices in my head, so I will be okay. Anyway, let's do this. Let's hit the panel, right? I kind of want to, because we got about 11 minutes left, and I want to kind of, again, I'm trying to be mindful of everybody when it comes to these conversations, and so I'm trying to make sure that I do things the right way. W's in the chat for Heidi. Heidi sent a $5 donation saying Sean is the absolute best. Listen, if I didn't think the same thing, Sean wouldn't be up here on the panel. And I'm going to just keep it funky with you. If I didn't think so, Sean wouldn't be up here, because, you know, I ain't the sharpest spoon in the drawer, but I know how to find people to make me look good. So, W's in the chat for Heidi. W's in the chat for Sean. Guys, we're only $35 away from closing out the nightly donation goal. Aaron. So I know you haven't even been on the panel for long. I think you've been listening. What would you like to say, we're going to be running this topic all week. Hopefully you can come back and join more in it. Yeah. You can add something. You can take a look at one of the topics and tell me what you're most excited about talking about this week, wherever you want to go with it.
Yeah, I think, like, I to be completely honest, it is just dumbfounding to me I'm trying to understand why MAGA and Trumpers care so much about what other people do with their bodies.
It's control. It's all control. It's all control. I'm sorry.
Asinine. It's absolutely asinine.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go. I'm just. It's just infuriating to me, because at the end of the day, there are so many trans youth that end up committing S-word, and because of things like this, and because of people like this. And this is not a discussion that should involve a MAGA supporter in the doctor's office with them. And it's just so hypocritical, and I don't understand at what point are they going to stop with the small government touting that they keep saying. And so I don't know if anyone here can help me understand that, but For me, it's like I watch the news 24/7 and I still, for the life of me, do not understand the hypocrisy and also the Christian hypocrisy about being practically Bible thumpers, in my opinion, from what I've seen. But yet they vote for someone like Donald Trump, who's been held civilly liable, if everyone knows, and is also a felon. And for the life of me, it will never make sense to me, and I don't understand what they are voting for. And that's what I wish some of the MAGA people wouldn't have dropped down, because maybe they could have given me an answer. But Trump does not care about any of them. Trump doesn't care about anyone but himself. He ran to stay out of prison. That's what he ran for.
You know what? I think I think it's also the fact that he gets to get off new grifts. That now that he won,
true.
Listen, fight cologne. Like Melania selling Christmas ornaments. Like they listen.
Yes.
Let me keep chat. Let me keep it funky with you. Let me keep it funky with you for a second. I don't like them. But the Trump family got more hustles than Hustle Man. Hey, they got another one around the corner every single time. It's always something. They went from selling Bibles to selling cologne to selling Christmas ornaments to selling NFTs to selling shoes. Boy, if they ain't cards. Yeah. They got more hustles than Hustle Man. Anyway.
The other thing too is in Oklahoma, I know for a fact that the Oklahoma governor put in place restrictions on certain Bibles, even though Bibles are now mandated to teach in schools, which is crazy to me, even in public schools. But the only Bible that fits those requirements is the Trump Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just constant grifting. Yeah, I swear on my life. I swear on my life. Look it up, and I swear to God.
That's crazy work.
So
yeah, it is.
once again,
Hey, real quick. I do
yeah.
want you to finish. I forgot how to say your name. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's Aaron. Sorry.
Aaron.
I know. I should have went with my first name. I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry,
You're perfectly
guys.
fine. You're perfectly fine. We'll remember it, Aaron. I want to give a shout out to Heidi. Thank you so much, Heidi, for the Cash App. You're amazing. You're awesome. I saw that you sent it earlier, but I do want to give people shout outs when they send me a Cash App, and I try and look for like a little opening. So I'm sorry, Aaron.
No, you're fine. I just I'm baffled. And Santana brought up the grifting, and it's like, how many millions of dollars in taxpayer money is going to go to Trump to buy all of these Bibles for the schools that they're now mandating to teach those Bibles?
Yeah, I
so
saw
it's
that
just,
as well.
it's just, and also too, half of the things going on, whether it's women's reproductive health or it's trans rights or LGBTQIA plus individuals, it does not affect Trump supporters one iota at all. Yeah. And so that's where the disconnect is happening for me. But I just appreciate you letting me come up here and kind of have this conversation. So absolutely. I will drop down, and you guys are such a great community. So I'm super happy to be here, and I'll be here this week too. So
absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yes, thank you so much.
A wonderful evening. Delta, I'm sorry. Yeah, so we got the timer on the side. The boxes are closed for the night. I apologize, my friend, but we're going to be running this topic all week, so hopefully you'll join us, and you can get on the panel and join the conversation and all this wonderful things. We're just going around the panel now, kind of having no, you're fine. We're having kind of some closing comments just to kind of wrap things up, but I do want to say, guys, we're at 235,000 likes. What would be nice is if the chat locked in and we got this thing up to 300,000 likes before we close out the live. I mean, if you want to do your boy a favor, if you want to come through, do something for your boy, we can go ahead and get this thing up to 300,000 likes before the end of the night. Also, we only have $35 left in the nightly donation goal, so Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Santana Speaks 24. It is the best way to support the live, and please don't forget about Sean. We need to make sure we're taking care of Sean while Sean is here laboring all week. I want to come to Yoda. Yoda, what comments, thoughts, anything that you have, or any topic that's listed that you're excited about talking about this week, and will you be back?
Yeah, I'll try to come back either Thursday or Friday night.
Oh,
I've been,
ooh, Thursday and Friday nights of sparring.
that's fair. That's fair.
We
I've been
do.
following
It'll
Sean for
be
a
it'll
while,
be.
so
Hold on, no Thursday we're good. Thursday we're good. It's so Tuesday. It's Wednesday and Thursday will be late nights with Santana. Listen, when I said I got multiple voices in my head, I wasn't joking, right? Sean.
I'm a little concerned right now.
You were on last night with sparring. Am I the same person last night that you were interacting with on the panel? Like, it's different people, right?
Different person.
It's a whole multiverse. It's a Santana multiverse. But yeah, no. So we will be back on Wednesday and Thursday running this topic again. But the other nights we do sparring and all these other things. So
yeah,
Thursday,
fair
yeah.
enough. I'll try to swing by Thursday. I see Sean in here all the time. I've been following her for a while. She's been on my lives a couple times also. But so yeah, I'm very interested in the transphobia's misogynoir because I'm a intersectional philosopher. So it's I've been published a few times on intersectionality and
Really?
my top video myself. Yeah, it's in
Okay.
paywalled academic journals though. So it's like I love that kind of yeah.
Gotta get the grifting. Capitalism.
Absolutely. We live in a society. But I did want to, originally what I requested was because Lawful and Ashley were frustrating me. But I'm similar to Sean in that I'm very much an empiricist. If we're going to talk about things, I want to talk about data. I want to talk about what the actual professionals say. We had a medical professional up here on the panel that was telling
That's why I was so
Ashley
excited about
she
that.
was wrong.
Right.
And unfortunately, she could. Casserole couldn't get a word in edgewise to talk to Ashley and tell Ashley, "Hey, no, you're wrong. I literally am the person who does this crap. Here's how it works." But they were talking about the detransitioners. Less than 2% of trans-identified children ever detransition, and of that 2%, over 80% of them detransition for lack of support because their family doesn't support them. Their friends and family, they have no network, so they feel like they don't have the option to pursue these things anymore. So
when Lawful sat there and said, basically, do you think they're gay because they don't have family? It's like, the fuck are you talking about, dude? That was just like the dumbest thing that I ever heard. I'm sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So it's like, that's what I want to talk about. Or she kept going on about it should be later on down the road after therapy. It already is. It's not a case of they just wake up one day, say, I am trans. Let's go down to CVS and pick up my government mandated puberty blockers or whatever. Yeah. They have to go, they talk to a therapist. They have multiple follow-up sessions. And eventually, after a good amount of time, the therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist, whoever says, okay, here's what my professional opinion is, and my recommendations would be to go on to puberty blockers. Here they are. You and your parents can decide if that's what you want to do. That's how it happens. And when you bring up people like Buck Angel is a paid right-wing grifter. Yes, he's a trans man. Yes, he's been trans for decades now. But he actively has talking points that are paid for by right-wing organizations. Same with Blair White, who is literally employed by the Daily Wire. So when we talk about, Ashley specifically kept going on and saying the specialists, quote unquote, are the ones in question. Why are you questioning medical professionals, but you're not questioning people who have direct, transparent ties to right-wing organizations that are actively hostile to queer people?
Yep.
Why is that double standard there?
Yep.
But yeah, I'll stop ranting now. I get fiery on this stuff. I'm very pro queer rights, and so
I enjoy a good rant.
I love, you're right. I don't know what to tell you.
Exactly.
I will say a little bit of a non sequitur. Just a little bit of a non sequitur.
Sean.
Yeah.
I don't know what that word means, so I'm gonna take it as disrespect. So.
Right. A little off topic.
Got it.
Off topic.
I know that word.
Sidebar.
I am going to. I think I'm actually. For those of you who don't know, we made an Alex Jones joke a little bit earlier, but for those of you who don't know, The Onion has bought InfoWars.
Yeah, I saw that.
I want to put in an audition for Alex Jones's spot and working for The Onion. And so I want to get my content. I want to do some long form content because I have some things that I want to say that
You know
would
what you got to do though, Sean, right?
what I got to do.
You got to get to the YouTubes. You got to get
That's
over
what
to the
I was
YouTubes.
just about to plug. I was just about to
Go
plug the
ahead, do
YouTube.
your thing then.
That's exactly why I said what I said, because the grift is going to be real. Like I want to like since the Onion has bought InfoWars, I always thought that the left needed something where one, I think we need they have an alt-right pipeline on YouTube, and I always thought we needed more of an alt-left pipeline, not BreadTube. BreadTube isn't that, I don't think. I think we need a pipeline for people who are like beginners in order to bring people into leftism. And then we need like a far, far left, like kind of what Alex Jones was for the far right. People who are like screaming about government conspiracies that actually happened with empirical data. Like if I told you today, right now, if I was on InfoWars and it was ran by the Onion, if I told you today right now that the government conducted experiments on black people in order to drive black men crazy to see if they can utilize us as secret weapons for a war, you would think that that's a lie. It's not. It's not a lie. Like that is, in saying stuff like that, essentially Alex Jones-esque, but more. All right, I'm done plugging.
You know, hey, chat. Whenever you guys get a moment after the live, go into your phone and Safari, Chrome, whatever you use, and type in redtube.com and go take a look and see what that is. Anyway, W's in the chat for Ariane. Ariane sent a $15 donation saying thank you for educating the uneducated. I appreciate your lives and the community that you've built so much. Thank you so much, Ariane. Thank you. I appreciate the $15. That means we're only $20 away from closing out our nightly donation goal, guys. Only $20 away from closing it out. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. There's 270 some people still watching, so 20 people send $1, we can close it out.
Why did I just look up RedTube?
Because you said RedTube, and I knew what RedTube was. I thought you knew what it was, and that's why you said it.
I said BreadTube.
Oh, I thought you said RedTube. Let me tell you where my mind was at.
Bro, your wife needs to come get your ass.
Listen,
RedTube is crazy. I was like, that sounds. I was like, that kind of sounds familiar on the.
That's why I said wait until you get off the live. That's why I said wait until you get off the live.
I said BreadTube.
I could have sworn you said red, R-E-D.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I heard red also, but BreadTube I'm also familiar with.
Hey yo!
Look, now everybody go look it up.
Santana After Dark.
Well, yeah, my wife likes to call me Spicy Santana.
Oh, RedTube was like the OG P Hub.
Yeah. That's why. Listen. That's why I told them to go on their phone. That's why I didn't say go incognito. I just told them just go there and look. That was a setup. As my sister would say, it's a setup.
It is a setup.
It was a setup.
Oh, real quick, for anyone who's asking, I don't know how to look up YouTubes on YouTube, but my YouTube is just Watch My Legs. It is just Watch My Legs. My Twitch is Watch My Legs with 2 S's because the original Watch My Legs was taken. Confession, the original Watch My Legs was taken by me, and then I forgot my password. You laugh at this shit. You laugh. And then so I had to create a new one.
Hey, I tell you what.
Look though, but I do that all the time.
I tell you, hold on. Ask my wife why she got 2 TikTok accounts.
But like my Blue Sky. Oh, W to Justin. Thank you so much for the. You heard Bread. Thank you. The Santana just got a dirty mind. You heard Bread.
Maybe.
You heard Bread.
Maybe.
But thank you, Justin, for the Cash App. I appreciate it. But my YouTube is just Watch My Legs. My Twitch is Watch My Legs with 2 S's, and my Blue Sky is also Watch My Legs with 2 S's. for the same reason, for the same exact reason.
Yeah. I mean, since we're doing it, I'm gonna do it, right? This is your old buddy Santana YouTube's, right? We're almost at 100 subscribers. Again, subscribing is free. Right, Corey? Corey says she heard RedTube too. See, anyway, go ahead and make sure you hit the subscribe button on the YouTubes for Santana, right? Listen, Sean, as you can see, I don't know if you guys see that video. It says Isaac Days Santana. And that's actually a video of me, Sean, and a good friend of ours that we met last night by the name of Isaac. And if you have not seen this video, I clipped it. It's like 3 minutes and 40 seconds, and it doesn't do justice to the conversation that we had with Isaac. Because I don't know what the fuck Isaac was talking about, but whatever.
Isaac was on it.
What?
Isaac was on that.
Come to find out, Isaac been going from doctor to doctor trying to get different codeine. That's why he talking about they red flagged me. I don't know why. It's because you're going begging for medication to multiple doctors.
Right. No, what did he say? He said, I think he said, didn't he say, he said, no, he said oxycodone. He said oxycodone.
Oh my God. No, listen, when he went off and then he said, and then the Trump fish, and I said, whoa, time out. And I went through my whole diatribe and I came back and I said, and you said the Trump fish, and he's like, yeah, and the Trump fish, and he just picked right back up. Went right back into it.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. When you say bread tube, all I have in my head is a bunch of footlongs.
A bunch of footlongs. If anyone doesn't know what bread tube is, I probably should explain that. I've been on the left for forever. But BreadTube is leftist YouTube. It's called BreadTube because the father of anarcho-communism was Peter Kropotkin, who wrote a book called The Conquest of Bread. And it talked about the fundamentals of anarcho-communism. And many people who are on the left have read that book, and it's been like a staple on the left, even if you're like a Marxist-Leninist or whatever. And it was just called BreadTube. And also, bread has a lot to do with socialism. Lenin's words, his promises, and how he ended up taking over the Soviet Union was peace, land, and bread. So bread is a big deal for leftists. So when we say BreadTube, we mean YouTubers who are, on the left.
Yep. Thank you for explaining that because I didn't know. Hey, thank you for the cake. 4M. What else do you have for the the chat before we go?
Nothing really outside of just everybody's been so generous to me, so pleasant and so supportive since I came out a couple of days ago. Like I said, I posted that video on my TikTok, not a video, but a picture, like background with words. But everybody's been super accepting of me, and it's been really heartwarming. And I just wish that the world was more accepting when it came to, I don't understand why it matters so much what people do in their bedrooms, why MAGAs are always worried about other people. It's weird. And it's ironic because if you remember, Grindr came to a halt.
Crashed.
Yeah,
crashed.
Exactly. And
they crashed the server multiple times.
I think honestly, a lot of it's projection. Honestly, and they're probably afraid, so they project it onto other people. But yeah, it's. I just wanted to say thank you to Sean and everybody else. It's been super, accepting and super nice to me.
Absolutely. Well, hey, thank you for coming up. Thank you for sharing that with us. Congratulations again, and I'm happy to hear that at least you had a good experience. I'll just say this: I couldn't imagine what it would be like, especially like you're older, right? And I'm not calling you old. Well, fuck it.
No, you're good.
Old.
I turn 37 next month.
Yeah, so you're old, but no, I couldn't imagine what it would be like to be like younger. and actually coming out and then having to deal with life and all this other stuff. So I'm
Oh,
happy to hear at least that you've had an accepting experience. So
oh, when I was younger, I've been bullied a lot for my entire life, and I don't know where it came from, but when I was younger, I used to get called, gay and like, get made fun of all the time, and I don't know where it ever came from, but you know, it is what it is.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you for coming up. I appreciate you as always. I'm gonna go ahead and drop you down.
Yep.
I see Hawk talking about watch it. Look, listen, Hawk. Hawk's so old he took his driver's license test on the back of a dinosaur. Javon, are you still there? I think
I
Javon went to
think
sleep on it. He go to
I think
listen.
a while ago. I think
Listen,
when he first teacup, I think he's teacup because his phone's saying
yeah,
it's on 20%,
yeah.
and he never looked at it to clear it or nothing
Listen, he
because he
come
just
up on the panel all the time and fall asleep on me. I usually just drop him randomly because this happens all the time. I'm gonna go ahead and drop him. All right, Sean. Any other thank yous? Did anyone else send you anything before we close it out?
Let me check. Well, I do want to thank everybody who sent me gifts. I really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. I will
They're
apologize
okay.
again.
They're okay. They tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow, but Wednesday. They need to do better. Don't praise them yet. Like, whoa.
Listen. I think y'all are awesome. For
They're
one, sending me money. You guys last night were absolutely insane. Like I was trying to tell my goal, and I was like, I just need like $190 so I can go grocery shopping, and I can do the things with the bills. I got bills.
I got
It
bills.
was
I got kids. I'm sorry. Go
yeah,
ahead.
serious. It was a spontaneous bill, but I had a bill,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all had me up to 300 like it was nothing. Like it was nothing. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh
I'm
my
happy to
gosh,
hear
like
that.
we're way more than good. The name of that book was The Conquest of Bread. It is a very dry read. I'm not gonna hold you. It is dry as fuck. Peter Kropotkin, that nigga can that nigga that nigga can write a bedtime story, I swear.
Oh man.
But nah, it's if you go through it, it's actually like a decent explanation of the workings of anarcho-communism. His magnum opus though was called Mutual Aid, so that's where we get mutual aid from. He made that up,
Mm.
and that's why bread too. You get what I'm saying. We love our people. But thank you to everyone who sent me gifts. YouTube is Watch My Legs. There's a different. It's like Watch My Legs 258 something. I don't know. YouTube gives you numbers now, and I don't know why, and you can't really get rid of them. But yeah, it's that, and my Twitch is Watch My Legs with two S's. I'm gonna start doing Twitch content more in January. Right now, the house that I live in, I like my house, don't get me wrong, but I have the worst internet service. And when I get a new apartment, I'm going to have better internet service. I actually made a negotiation with my roommate, who I'm going to move in with, I'm going to live in the room with the router. So my computer and my systems and everything will be hooked up to the router. So I'll be doing more Twitch content. I'll be doing more YouTube content. Yeah, like just look forward to that. And thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Santana, for having me. You're amazing, and I'm gonna stop you.
Again, I'm okay. I mean, we don't do too much of the praises around here. Like everybody's just average. Everybody's average around here.
Everybody's average is crazy.
No, listen, this is a good night. This is a really good night to open it up. I'm super excited. So I'll tell you a secret since it's just me and you talking. I enjoy when people come up and there's a little bit of cantankerous conversation that goes back and forth. I'm all for, as long as no one crashes out. Like I can deal with the back and forth, right? So like I appreciate it, Ashley, and even left this to a certain extent because I'm not above smacking some people around every once in a while. So I had fun. I enjoyed it.
I mean, I think it's really important on the basis of to wrap this up. It's really important, like the what we were talking about with them, uh, with the topics, especially even though people might not have realized this, but transphobia is misogynoir because have you ever had a black child try to be diagnosed with something?
No, no, listen. Yes, and then also, so I was talking about. I had this conversation the other day. I was listening in. I don't know if you know Covey, Athena.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I love Covey.
Right, she's so dope.
Athena is one of my. Athena's not one of my OGs. I'm not gonna lie, but Athena is definitely like the John Cena of my debate
John
group.
Cena. Yeah.
Like the John Cena of my debate group.
Yeah. Yeah. I was listening to her tonight as I was in the gym. She was in like a little small live. They were talking Palestine, and I was listening. No, don't send a raid. We're getting ready to close out. We're getting ready to close out IRI.
Who they raiding? They raiding Bradley?
No, they're raiding us.
Oh, they're raiding us?
This is what happened like at the end of the night when I talk too long. People start raiding us even though I'm trying to raid other people. Welcome in. I'm really important, raid. Welcome. We're actually closing it out. What's going on? I'm really important. We were literally getting ready to close it out. That's why we got Carbon's information up here. We're about to get ready to raid Carbon. I appreciate the raid.
That's so funny.
This happens all the time. W's in the chat for Carol. As a matter of fact, IRI, since we're here, can we get 1 million W's in the chat for Carol? Carol sent a $20 donation to close out the nightly donation. IRI, since you guys are here, can we get 1 million W's in the chat for Carol, please? Let's flood the chat with W's for Carol. We love Carol. Thank you so much. Yeah, no, listen, this was a really good introduction. I had a lot of fun. You are amazing as always, and I can't wait to do it again on Wednesday.
I cannot wait.
Listen, you were saying, look, this is what I was saying. I had a surgery, right? I had a surgery. It was supposed to be laparoscopic, and
as a child, as a minor,
not as a minor, as an adult, but still kind of like similar, right?
Okay.
And it was supposed to be laparoscopic, and I went to sleep thinking it was going to be small incisions. I woke up with a scar going from like my chest to my navel, and the doctor said, "Oh, your skin's too thick. Your skin was too thick. We had to cut you open."
See?
That's exactly, yeah. And so I was telling Covey about that earlier.
And this is like the thing where there's medical racism. Very obviously, there is. Within transphobia, for the people who say things about people, getting black children, especially black girls, young black girls, diagnosed with something as simple, not as simple, but something that is fairly easy to diagnose in a white child, such as autism or like ADHD, is almost fucking impossible. Like it is so goddamn hard because everyone is saying, "Oh, no. She doesn't have autism. She's just black. She doesn't have autism. She's going to grow out of this. This is just an effect of growing up as a black woman." Yeah. Like that is a big thing. And like the implementations of violence later on in life, we'll talk about it.
We will get into it. We will get into it. Hey guys, if you're not following my backup, that's what my backup is on the panel right now. I got fussed at earlier because I need to build the backup more. I'm gonna try to get around on my backup account. But if you're not following my backup account, go ahead and just tap my face and hit the follow real quick on the backup account. Go ahead and do that. We're gonna go raid Carbon, and Carbon is actually running kind of a parallel topic. So if you enjoyed tonight, you might want to hop over to Carbon. Carbon is actually running the topic: trans women should be able to use the bathroom or be able to use women's bathroom. I'm looking at his topic right now, and he also has Comrade on his panel, and Olive. Comrade and Olive are both on his panel.
Comrade B?
Comrade, what's her? No, Comrade, the one that's usually on Alina's panel.
That's B. That's
okay, yeah.
B.
Yeah. Yeah, so Comrade and Oliver both over there. So let's go raid Carbon, carbon.gg. Carbon.gg. It's up at the top. Let's go over Santana Raid. Drop a bunches. Let's spam his chat. Just keep spamming Santana Raid in his chat and fill up his entire chat. Guys, don't meet me there, beat me there. Sean, I appreciate you so much. I can't wait to do it again. Guys, you know what's coming now. Put it in the chat. Sean, have you ever seen me close out the live?
Not fully.
Okay, all right. So you look. They're already putting it in the chat. You'll see. And I'm gonna need you to do this with me on Wednesday. So just check it out, guys. Go ahead and drop it in the chat. You know what's coming up. I need you guys to put it in the chat. Put it in the chat because you know what I'm about to say. Put it in the chat because you know what I'm about to say. Listen, guys, thank you for all the loves, the taps, the shares, the likes, the donations. Thank you for being here. Thank you for a wonderful night. I can't wait to see you guys again and do this again. I love you all. And as always, peace.
Peace.